of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Good afternoon to you on this Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. No Bryant Dacus today. He is out. In with me today, producing and co-hosting Landon Schmidt. I'm Brett, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Tomorrow is 2 weeks until Christmas, so get the shopping in. Are you early shopper or last second or a mix, Landon?
Oh, I don't think you know how early of a shopper I am.
It's a good habit.
I start getting lists together in the summer, and then I start buying in about August, September.
Oh, wow.
So
you win the prize.
I get ahead of the program.
I like
big time. Yeah.
I'm a little of the mix. I'm a little mix.
Well, I'm a huge Christmas guy. I don't know how much you know that about me. Brett,
I'm a big Christmas guy.
Oh yeah.
I
see your room. You got decorated with the tree and everything. It looks nice.
When I joined High Top Rose Lane and Broadway today,
yeah,
from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Perfect segue. Thank you. Hot tub and swim spa clearance going on now. Hot tub starting at $24.99. Swim spa starting at $14.999. In stock patio furniture up to 50% off. Hot tub cover starting at $249. Spa steps and cover lifts starting at $99. Special financing available. Mention this ad and receive free gift with a hot tub purchase. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Today is a happy day in Memphis for the new head coach of the Memphis Tiger football team being formally announced, and the party is going on over at the Billy J. Murphy Complex for Coach Charles Huff. It is a great day. Last week I left out one of the dates. I said in coaching is sometimes landing a lot like in politics, where I had an old politician tell me there are really, I said just two. He told me once that there are really 3 great days as a politician. The day you announce, and I left out the night you win, and the day you get sworn in. Well, the day you win is a really great day. He said the rest of them were utter hell.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think he was joking, and I don't think that's the case in coaching, because you get a lot of election days in coaching. It's called game days, and to win those games. And Coach Charles Huff, as we've talked about, he comes in at the strongest period in the history of Tiger football. At 3:30, we'll visit with Coach Tommy West like we always do. He didn't come close to taking over a program in the shape that Charles Huff finds it in.
No, not at all. And I think going forward, I know we talked a little bit about this off the air, was the fact that coming into this program, knowing his background, Charles Huff is a great recruiter. And I think that's what we're going to expect coming into this year.
And
with
talent evaluator. And that's what you've got to be now to be a great recruiter.
Absolutely. Especially with the transfer portal being so wide open and all those details.
And if you miss in recruiting now, you get that second swing of them when they get disenchanted.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so I think we're going to look for him to strike good in those places and bring that top tier talent here. But like you said, this is a great situation. Winning is now the norm for Memphis. Making a bowl game at the end of the year is now the norm. We're just looking for that next step, and that's getting to the conference championship.
That is the next step. Okay, so the last 2 years I missed. I don't think badly either year, more this year than last. I thought both years the Tigers, and I tried to will it. I mean, I did everything I could the last 2 years, Landon, to have that 5-12, even 6-11 Memphis Ole Miss game. I really believed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just hope. It wasn't radio hype. I don't do that. I think people know that. If I don't really believe it, I don't say it. I got to really believe it even to say it. But I thought last year with Seth Hennigan that everything was going to conspire perfectly. Then this year, I was more dubious of that. But as the summer built and the more and more I talk to people that know a lot more about the Tiger program and college football than I do, if we'd have done W's and L's, we're never doing this, in May, I would have probably had the Tigers around 7-5, 8-4, about where they finished. But then as the summer built and more I knew about Brendan Lewis, the more I love this team and the schedule. I love the schedule this year. But I missed. So I missed the last 2 years. But college football playoff is not the next goal. The next goal now after these misses, I think you got to ratchet it back to get to the American Championship game. Now, the Tigers have done that, but that is we're starting to have a lot of distance between 2019 and what will be next year, 2026.
Mm-hmm. It has been a long time, and we need to get to that place to where we are back in those conversations, because, like you said, the what we do for the preseason and where we have Memphis being ranked, we have them up in number 1, number 2, sometimes maybe number 3. But for us to be finishing these last couple of years in 5 and 6 seed spots it's just not cutting it. And so now we've got Charles Huff. Hopefully he's going to bring that in, usher in that new era that gets us back into that conference championship talk. More than just 1 year. I think it's got to be a consistent thing.
Ryan Silverfield was a very successful Memphis coach. You do not get an SEC job if you're not.
No.
But it was not enough. And so I think Arkansas gets them a good, steady, reliable, good man, really good man, from all I'm told. As I've said many times, I never met Ryan Silverfield in his tenure here. Never. I never, because I've long, I don't even think they have the Monday media availability anymore. And I quit going, after I started working for Ole Miss. I thought it would be a little awkward there at that. It was more me than them. It was not them at all. So COVID the first year and busy with other things. I never met him, but I liked him. And I know our friend Johnny Hill that worked with us here, that was a football manager for him, the stories he would tell me and that his dad would tell me about what a good person, and friends of mine that worked around Ryan on the broadcast team and otherwise, all just what a really fabulous fella he is. So Arkansas is getting them a good coach. Memphis is not missing him.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think they are at all. But with a maybe a return, Ryan Silverfield comes back, if we ever figure out this Memphis going back over to Arkansas, or maybe Arkansas coming back here in the future. Do you think you'll ever get a hug with Ryan Silverfield?
No. Might not even get a handshake.
Oh.
But because I
think you'd get a handshake.
I did not know him, and I would say I advocated and was pro Ryan Silverfield, wasn't I?
Oh, I think you were, overwhelmingly so.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody on this show was against Ryan Silverfield. I think we were in full support of him.
I don't think anybody in town was.
I don't think we were.
Now, these last 2 years with the remodel construction, and I said it when it started, I'm not having any big hard and fast takes about stadium size because nobody knew.
Yeah.
But going into next year for game 1, first year for new coach Charles Huff, there's got to be seats out there. He's got to go out there and be the biggest advocate, promoter for this program. You can't just remodel it and expect them to come.
Right.
And they're not going to wait on just the winning. You got to start selling, and I think he did today at his announcement press conference, and I hope he does. And it was great to see that Penny Hardaway was there and Mayor Paul Young, the dignitaries there. Good. I've also said this. I've said this about Ole Miss, and I've said it about Memphis. Apply whichever one you want to apply it to. I'll just use it totally with Memphis. I'll speak in through the prism of a Memphis fan. There's not enough of us to fight among each other. You just have to be unified.
Yeah.
And I think today was a good day of unity and a fun first day. There's no better time to be a head coach than when you're 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, with him coming out, I've seen the video he posted on social media that he landed. He's finally in the 901, stepping up, and it seems I always love watching those videos and then immediately going to the comments, because that's where a lot of honesty is just spoken out of people giving.
But that's not a real place.
Sometimes it's not. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes you get a real gauge on what the overall people are thinking. At least I do. Well, this is also
you get a gauge of the loudest.
Yes, that's a really good way to put it. Is the loudest people, but especially with looking at Instagram and all those kind of things, those are where people, I feel like, just speak their minds. Overwhelmingly good. Positive. Everybody's saying
that beats negative.
Everybody's saying great hire. Welcome to the 901.
Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas.
Yeah, he is. But
I saw a long time Arkansas. I'll call his name Trey Biddy. Covers the Razorbacks for 24/7. I don't know Trey either, but I follow him and keep up with the Razorbacks a lot through him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that in his time covering the Razorbacks, and this was 4, 5, 6 days into it, so it was sometimes last week, that he had never seen a new coach hired in any sport, well, it's football and basketball, because Dave Van Horn's been there forever, in football or basketball, that there wasn't one positive comment about. Not one about Ryan Silverfield. Everybody was opposed to it.
And
that's rough.
That is rough, and it's also just hard to believe. I understand, however, where they're coming from, because they're thinking this guy didn't make it to the conference championship. What makes him think he's going to turn us around? But then I believe I was listening to Happy Hour, and John was talking about, you look at Arkansas seasons the last couple of years, they're not winning. They're not getting up. They're not putting the right numbers in the left column. They've been losing a lot, and Ryan Silverfield is a proven coach that can win. He can win. He can take you to a bowl game. That's been proven with him, and now he has, the SEC tools. He's got the SEC crowd. So I think people will warm up to him, but kind of shocking that a lot of people were just instantly against him.
His non-conference schedule, his whole thing's tough next year.
Mm-hmm.
Full SEC schedule's out tomorrow night on the SEC network, of course, with a big splashy show, including non-conference dates. Won't be TV times, but it would be a lot of non-conference out there. And I'm waiting to see the Ole Miss games.
Mm-hmm.
There was some conversation back late summer, early football season that Pitt would be the opening game next year for Ole Miss, but I know that that's not going to be the case. I don't know who will be, but I know that it's not going to be Pitt. I don't know that Pete Golding in his first game at Ole Miss wants to face Mason Heinschel.
I don't think so.
And they're not.
And I mean, you look at, we're still in the tail end of this season, but the hype that everybody had around Pitt, especially when they were going to face Notre Dame and saying that there was actually going to be a contest. Eventually, we know how that ended up, but Pitt's not a team that you just overlook.
Indiana star defensive tackle, have you heard this story? Stephen Daly will miss the remainder of the season. He suffered a potential leg injury on a freak incident as he walked around the stadium giving high fives at the Big Ten championship game. And there's video of it, and you see something snap. I mean, he's like, jumping up a little bit and celebrating, and comes down wrong, and you can tell, and he grabs it like, oh no. I almost said something else, like, oh no.
The PG version of the other one of just, oh no, man, I did not know about that, but you hate to hear that, because that, if at any point, my history with being I was a college athlete with rugby. I always was fine if I got injured in the game, in the field of play, because that means I was going out, giving my all. Something happened to me out there, but anything outside of that, man, that's heartbreaking.
I like telling the story. There was a great golf shop here in the day, Burt Dargy's Golf, and we were in there one time, and this was in the days of persimmon, real wood drivers, and I picked one up, and I accidentally dropped it, and it kind of scuffed the persimmon on it, and he came over and he goes, "We really like for the customer to put the first dent in it. Please don't touch." So you like to be on the field to play to get dented up.
Yeah. Well, I feel like in that case, it's, for lack of a better term, kind of earned in that sense, because you're going out there and it's in the field of battle, and a lot of stuff happens there. There's, nothing lost in love and war. And so with those kind of things, I think it just rests easier when you have an injury on the field of play than when you're just outside giving high fives.
I'm going to give the rundown now, but I want to let people know at 4:30. I know it's not major time, and I know it's not Memphis Golf Tournament time, but we're going to visit with Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel. Rex is always so kind to us around majors in Memphis to visit with us a couple times during those weeks. He's going to be with us at 4:30. He authored a story that you can go to golfchannel.com and read it about what the future of the PGA Tour will look like. It's at Golf Central, at the Golf Channel. And the tweet for the story says, Tiger Woods has an ambitious goal for a new-look PGA Tour in 2027, but 2028 is more realistic. So basically, all of 26 is going to be like kind of how we've known it. It's not going to start at Kapalua, but it'll start with the Century Tournament of Champions, and we'll have 38 events from January to 1st of September, and we'll be in the playoffs and all that. But 2028, or 2027, some things could change, and 2028 is going to be radical. He goes on and tweets, after hearing from those in charge and talking to those inside the ropes, that this is what it might look like. And he goes through various stuff. Some of it speculation. Some of it he is just getting from what people may want to see how it happens. Last week we talked about Harris English, and he talked about the tour not starting until after Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by 2028, Landon, I think the Super Bowl is even going to be later because we're going to be at 18 games.
Yeah, we're going to expand
in the NFL by then, and that's going to push everything back. In golf and every other sport, nobody wants to mess with the NFL monster, and people don't want to mess with the college football monster either. And Rex writes about it. He's going to join us at 4:30. A lot of speculation about Memphis. In fact, in that story for 2027, we don't have a tour date.
Yeah,
in Memphis.
I saw that.
I don't think that's going to happen. But Tiger Woods, and he is in charge with new commissioner Brian Rolap, fresh from the NFL offices, and they are hard chargers.
They're money makers.
Tour's going to change. We're not going to have all these stops. I don't want to name a lot of cities because I don't want to denigrate them. But a lot of things that we're used to in 2028, and that sounds like a long time away, but it'll get here quickly.
It's right around the corner.
It's going to change, and we'll talk to Rex about it.
Yeah, and very, very surprising article. You sent it to me earlier. Read through it, and the dates and the changes with everything coming out. The big thing.
It made me tremble.
It did, and the big thing that I read about that was they want to go to the warmer locations when it's colder. They want breaks after all the majors.
They don't ever want to sweat.
No, they don't. And I mean, part of me agrees because I never wear pants when I'm golfing, and I guess they do all the time have to wear pants. So, but clearly that's not going to be make or break.
They don't like south wind, and they don't like the heat.
Yeah.
But next year we are still in the playoffs.
We're in.
Contractually still in the playoffs for 27. After that, a lot of things are up for grabs. We'll talk to Rex about that. I mentioned Coach Tommy West. He'll join us at 3:30, like he has all of the college football season. 3:45. We'll talk another night of NBA Cup. Last night East, tonight West. At 4 o'clock, David Cohn he is co-host of Crane and Company. He will join us like he has all of college football season. 4:30. Rex Hogger from the Golf Channel. Big number of the day, Kevin Sweeney at 5 on college basketball. At 5:30, we were going to do this at 4:30, but we'll do it at 5:30 now since we have Rex. Landon and I will go through all 12 teams in the college football playoff, their path to win it all. Some are remote.
I'm looking forward to this.
And at 5:45, as we always do, we'll wrap up the day with Mo's Crutch Time. Our show every day at this time brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. They're at 2600 Ridgeway, and they are online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. And that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Who wants to go first?
I believe you should, Brett.
I will go first. Thank you. Top story for me, NBA Cup. Remember a few years ago when the Lakers had such the celebration and put up a banner for winning the I'm not going to say goofy, for winning the NBA Cup? Well, they're in it tonight.
They're in it.
Lakers Spurs, the second game on the Prime Video. How about the floor last night in Toronto? I needed eye black on to watch the highlights because I don't get Prime Video. Wow, that was really bright, wasn't it?
All the courts are.
Now, everybody killing the courts. Back in the day, when Marquette would play at the Mecca in Milwaukee and when the Bucks would play there, they had a radioactive court back in the day. But these are super radioactive, aren't they?
Very.
But last night, Desmond Bain with 37, third time he's had 37 this year. Could use those points, couldn't we?
Oh, yeah.
And he moves Orlando along, and and the Knicks moved along in Toronto. 23-1, the champs play tonight. Historic season, dynastic run in the very early stages for the Thunder. They're at home in Oklahoma City against the surprising 14-10 Phoenix Suns. Second game, Mr. NBA Cup, the Lakers, they got a banner up proving it to go with 17 NBA championship banners for the Lakers. They play tonight. LeBron's back, but Austin Reeves, what a story for him. Only 11 points last game out. But before that, 36, 44. That's a big number in the Laker world. That's Jerry West.
That's huge.
18, 33, 38, 31. Superstar in the making, isn't he?
Absolutely. I would say so. I mean, Austin Reeves, of all people, and I believe Luka's back tonight with that team as well. So
Austin Reeves.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, my top story in the baseball world, man, the Mets. They need to make some big moves in their favor.
But
well, I'm going there. I'm going the full 9.
Are you going to trash him?
I don't know.
You say he's not that good anymore?
I mean, I'm
do what we all do when they leave?
No. The only thing I'm mad at is the Mets. I'm mad at the Mets. I'm happy for Pete Alonso. I'm happy for Edwin Diaz. I think they're going to go out. They're still going to ball out, but the Mets need to make moves, and they need to make them in the right directions.
Is Cohen broke? Not the congressman, but the billionaire?
Certainly not.
I hope neither are broke.
No, and I don't understand.
I like and know one. I don't know the owner of the Mets.
Yeah, I don't understand where all of it is coming from, but closer Edwin Diaz signed a $69 million 3-year deal with the Dodgers, apparently only beating the Mets offer. Yeah, apparently only beating the Mets offer, which was $66 million for the same exact amount of time. And I guess the Mets just wanted to be cheap and did not want to go the full distance. But there's a lot of other things that Diaz also expressed, that he was not happy with the Mets' decision to part ways with pitching coach Jeremy Hefner, who in his time helped Edwin in his long time there have 3 of his lowest ERA percentages and 2 of his highest strikeout rates. Even though it has been an up and down with Edwin Diaz there, he did really, really good. And to top that off, Alexis Diaz, his brother, is already a Dodger, spoke very highly of the Dodgers organization. So I guess family speaks out and family wins out for the reason that Edwin left. And also apparently Edwin was not happy that they were signing closer Devin Williams. Apparently they did not let Edwin know about that, and so you can kind of take that as kind of a little bit of stab in the back. And then news today, Pete Alonso. I'm 1 year in to being a fan, and this is how they repay me: is they go ahead and get rid of Edwin, who I love. It gets worse. They went ahead and got rid of Pete. They got rid of Pete Alonso, who's now a Baltimore Oriole.
He had a bunch of home runs in that bandbox in Baltimore.
He set the franchise career record for home runs, and then we said, yeah, I guess we got what we wanted out of him, and now he's on his way. He signs a 5-year, $155 million deal, which is incredible for Pete. I'm happy for Pete, happy for the Orioles. Very upset with the Mets and how they're choosing to do this offseason. But the good news in all of this, and I would say it's very light good news, is that today is only December 10th. So we have a lot of offseason left.
I get this from a friend of mine, sends me Brett McMurphy at On 3 Sports breaking that Louisville and Ole Miss will open the 2026 season in Nashville at Nissan Stadium.
How about that?
So no pit, but Ole Miss and Louisville open 2021 on a Thursday night in Atlanta.
Wow.
At Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I wonder if that game could be moved to Thursday or Friday, because that's not impacting a campus per se. But Louisville and Ole Miss to open the 2026 season. So if Brett McMurphy's reporting it, I can talk about it. Am I not? We ready for top story?
Absolutely.
Not top story of the day.
Brett Yormark, Big 12 commissioner, went after Pete Bavacqua, the AD at Notre Dame, and said the ACC and Jim Phillips saved Notre Dame during COVID. Look, Notre Dame got a tough break. They did. But there's nobody feeling sorry for Notre Dame and all this crying. And I think Brett Yormark was at a big sports symposium. He didn't just offer this up. He was asked about it. He gave his opinion. And he gave it pretty straight. He's been pretty straight. Look, Notre Dame did whatever they wanted to do for 60 years in college football. Those days are over. Along with the Big Ten, the SEC runs the sport.
They sure do. My not top story is more and more of this story unfolds of the signing of Phillip Rivers to the practice squad. It starts to make more and more sense. Shane Steichen and Phillip Rivers are reportedly very close friends, and it kind of goes back to that old adage, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And Phillip Rivers having that close connection with them, signing to the practice squad, has been fielding a lot of questions today. They've asked him, how's your weight looking? How's your football shape looking? And he didn't shy.
Granddad.
He didn't shy away, but he said he's excited to be back on the field because he said his youngest kids have never seen him play. They don't remember seeing him play, so he's kind of got that renewed.
He's a real deal guy.
He really is, and the biggest questions out there of, is he still in football shape? Can he still avoid a pass rush? Well, he said already that he's not going to outrun anybody, but the dude can still swing the rock. No,
he wasn't at 24.
No, he was never going to be a guy that was going to beat you with his legs. He's always been a pocket passer, and he's always looked good there. But with this, there was also a lot of speculation. I know, Brett, you mentioned Tom Brady. Why was he not in consideration, or why were they not looking his direction? Colin Kaepernick. I've even seen some people reach out and say, why not Andrew Luck? Did we even ask Andrew Luck to come back and be a Colt and finish it out? But with all that, I
hadn't thought about any of the three you just named. It's serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were looking out there. I've seen a lot of posts of saying these guys are close to their jerseys and wondering if their phones still work. But with this, it was reported not too long ago that they signed Brett Rypien, and that QB Riley Leonard, who has a strained knee, was a full participant in the practice today. So maybe it's going to be a decision later on in the week of if they're going to elevate Phillip Rivers to play in their game against the Seahawks. That would be a rough homecoming for him to do that.
Now, does just being on the roster restart the Hall of Fame clock, or does he have to actually play a play?
I'm not sure. I believe he's already made his Hall of Fame claim.
No, I know he's done that, but the 5-year waiting period, that restarts with him.
Oh, I see what you're asking.
And I'm sorry for not explaining it well.
No, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think just being on the roster is the intent. And
he's already signed to the practice squad,
and
so
I bet he's not that worried about it.
No, I don't think so. I think his case is pretty set in stone of him going.
We are Sports Time. He's Landon and I'm Brett. When we return, we talk college football with Coach Tommy West.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
NST's been taking down insurance giants for over 35 years. Big firm power with hometown heart? Yeah, they don't play. It's that combination that has helped them win billions for their clients. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawald Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawald is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, MPD on the seat of a couple of legs out here as Midtown traffic starts to move around quite a bit with volume. It's still moving right now south of Memphis on 55 down through DeSoto County. Plenty of radar, at least it was earlier on I-40 as you come out of Shelby County into Fayette County. Hey, give the gift of clean this holiday season. Save 40% off right now on Zips Car Wash. Gift cards and wash books, they're perfect stocking stuffers. Check them out at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Producing and co-hosting today, Landon Schmidt. I'm Brett, and we now are joined, as we are every Wednesday during college football, by Coach Tommy West. And I think very fitting and poignant to have Coach West with us today because he's been on that stage being announced as the new Tigers football coach, as we had here today with the announcement of Charles Huff. Coach West, thank you for joining us. You know what that fun day is like, and I know how much you loved being the coach of the Tigers and living and working in Memphis, and we wish Coach Huff well, don't we?
Absolutely. He's got some great experience. I'll say that. Been around some really, really good people, and he's done a good job everywhere he's been.
He has. What is it like as that young assistant coach? Are you trying to just get a little something for everybody? I know there's always one that kind of stands out that may take you under their arm, but along the coaching way, you got to try to learn something from all of them. Sometimes you got to learn what not to do, don't you?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, you learn things that you wouldn't do. Yeah. I always kept a diary from way back because I knew that's what I wanted to be, a head coach. And I wrote down things that I made sure I didn't want to do it that way. And then, of course, the things that you do. And then at the end of the day, you got to be yourself.
Sure do.
You can't try to be somebody else. It may work for a little while, but it won't work for the long run.
Don't you think in late 70s, early 80s, that got a lot of people that kind of came from Coach Bryant's tree? Mm-hmm. Too many of them were trying to be him and not themselves. And there's all the examples of it. And many of them it worked for, but some it didn't.
Yeah, well, a lot of it was crazy. I was around a lot of Coach Bryant people during my time coming up. And they all wanted to be exactly. They wanted to smoke their cigarette and cup it just like he did. They wanted to, drink Wild Turkey and drink Old Forester. I'm sorry. Yeah. Drink the Old Forester. And they just emulated him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that doesn't work for everybody, does it?
No. It wouldn't work for me. I don't drink it. I don't drink it.
I think at gunpoint, I know I'm not going to smoke, and I gave up Old Forester a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, he'd have called me a sissy for drinking red wine, probably. So
yeah, no, you had it right. You had it right over anything out of that jug.
Well, everything Stat, back in the real day in the 70s, 80s, he made most of the decisions. So we had an NCAA.
He sure did.
But they had to call Coach Bryant and make sure it was okay before they did anything. I'll never forget Rip Shear telling a story about when he was at Penn State as a GA with Paterno, and there was a rule: nobody came in that staff meeting, no secretary, no player, nobody interrupted a staff meeting. And the secretary knocked on the door, and everybody was like, "Holy smoke!" She opened the door and she said, "Coach Bryant would like to talk to you."
He took the call.
And so he got up and left the room, got on the phone, came back, and he said, "Coach Bryant chose us to play them in the Orange Bowl."
Yeah, and
he chose who they played,
and they were really tight. And they're and around the anniversary of his death, I guess 3 years ago, the Commercial Appeal here with a lot of other Gannett papers, and Mark Giannotto was kind of the point person on the story here. They went and talked to people about, if he had lived, how was he going to treat that first fall without football? And in that story, a lot of the speculation centered around that he was going to go to State College, PA, and spend most of that year with his buddy Joe Pa and watching Penn State.
Is that right?
Yep.
I didn't realize that. That's awesome stuff.
But you're right on how he ran the sport. George Lapidus, I don't know if
he ran it.
I don't know if George ever told the story through these airways, but he told me about it. He said one Sunday night around this time of year, he said his wife came in and said, "Well, honey, the phone's for you. It's Coach Bryant." And he answered the phone and said on the other end, Coach Bryant said, "George, get your pencil out. Here's the bowl games."
That's the same thing.
And George had the exclusive story nationwide of every bowl game.
It's crazy.
It is.
Crazy.
What would you tell Coach Charles Huff going into this job at Memphis? What friendly piece of advice outside of be yourself, be real? What would you tell him?
Yeah, make sure you got a quarterback.
Yep.
That's how they've done it. They've played, I can't say they've played great defense. That's what we hung our hat on early. And that's what Memphis, I followed John Thompson as the coordinator.
Yep.
And they played really good defense, and that kind of kept them in games. But then but once they started getting quarterbacks, they started winning. And they played okay on defense, good enough to win games, but really good at the quarterback position. He's got to keep that going.
Now, Coach West, you know how I like to refer to John Thompson. Former Far City Mustang John Thompson.
There you go.
8 years before me, and I remember going and watching him play high school football and American Legion baseball. So.
Yeah, hey Coach. With that comment about the importance of having that quarterback, we know that Arrington Maiden for Memphis has decided that he's likely going to enter the transfer portal going this year. We haven't seen a lot out of Antoine Hill Jr. Do you believe that he could be that guy, or do you think he's going to be that guy to step into that role and be Charles Huff's quarterback?
Well, it sounds like he's going to have to.
Mm-hmm.
And the other advice I would give Coach Huff is that you can't be one-dimensional. You can't decide this is what I am as a coach offensively, and this is what we're going to do. Coaching is you take that quarterback, and if that's your guy, if Hill's your guy, then you've got to have an offense that plays to his strengths, to what he can do well, and stay away from what he doesn't do well. You can't just say we're going to be a drop-back team and he's not a drop-back passer. You can make everybody a better player by playing to their needs.
And Coach West, today when he was hired, he's taking on a Memphis job far different than Coach Tommy West took on. They know they can win there. You were hoping to win. You told them they could win, and you left it so much better than you found it. But he's finding it on day one in a lot different shape than you found it.
Yeah, he's got I don't know that I'd say it's a tougher job, but he sure has a different job. Now you're taking over a program that, 5 weeks ago, was the team that was going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were the playoff team, and then, lose 3 in a row in November. It's been a year there, but 8-4 is not good enough anymore at Memphis. And that's what I'm sure he realizes that.
And in your final salvo, that famous press conference, you said it could be done, but you have to commit to it. They did, and it's gotten done.
They committed to it. That's the big thing is, I said that because what happens is in recruiting, Of course, there wasn't a portal at that time, so everything was based off of high school players. And high school coaches are not going to send or encourage their prospects to go to schools that they don't think that there's a genuine put money in it in football. And everybody knew that we did in basketball, and they would send their players there in basketball, but they wouldn't in football because we weren't putting anything into it. I had watched that at UAB. The coaches in Alabama didn't want their players going to UAB. They were sending them to Troy at that time because Troy was putting money into their football program. Whatever's important, that's where you're going to put your money.
Yeah,
and if it's not important enough to put your money in it, I'm not sending my player there. So now Memphis has shown the high school coaches in Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, where you got to recruit, Alabama, that hey, football's important here because we're putting our money into football. Look at what we're doing with our stadium. Look at our, now we got a weight room, we got turf practice fields, we got everything everybody else has. We got an indoor. I mean, we're on top of our game.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that I believe is following Coach Huff is the fact that he is such a great recruiter. And you look back at the history of Memphis, and we've kind of been running back like we have a lot of good running backs that go to that next level. And we know that Charles Huff had a great direct relation with Saquon Barkley, worked with Najee Harris, all that stuff. Do you see that? I mean, of course, it's going to play an effect with Memphis football, but do you see that drawing in more names, making taking our running game to the next level and establishing that, because that's kind of been the pinnacle of what Memphis football is.
Yeah, if he can take it to another level, it would be unbelievable because they've had it. Their running back position has been at a high level. They're not only going to the league, they're being very successful in the league. I can remember, what was it, 3 or 4 years? They had 3 or 4 backs.
Oh yeah,
that were all NFL caliber backs. If he can keep that going, and he should be, because he can go in a home and show a kid, hey, here's the guys that I've worked with. Here's, you trying to get to the league. Here's what I did with these guys, and here's how we helped get them there. Again, that should be a strong point for him.
Well, you started that real well with number 20, the Win Yellow Jacket, D'Angelo Williams. That was a good get for you, wasn't it?
I'd say so. Offensive player of the year, or player of the year in the league 3 years in a row. Wasn't a bad one to have. The sad thing is, I don't know if we'd have been able to keep him in today's world.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, as sad as it would be, there'd be too many of them, and he couldn't turn down the money.
When you're a high school football coach, and the late Don Campbell, his personalized license plate was 27 Trap. You knew you were getting a back that knew how to follow his blockers, didn't you?
That's right. Well, you think back. I love to talk about D'Angelo, but he was a legitimate Heisman candidate.
Oh yeah.
And he had the. I don't know if he still has it or not. He had the all-purpose yardage record in the NCAA history for years and years and years. He probably still got it. The funny thing was, everybody would ask me, say, why you got him back on kickoff return? Why do you put him back there and let him get hit? He begged for that. That's what he wanted to do, because every time they kicked off, that was 25, 30 yards at, minimum added to his all-purpose yardage.
and what he really begged you for, and you weren't ever going to do it, is he wanted snaps at quarterback. If you had had RPO, Wildcat stuff, then he wanted to throw the ball.
Oh yeah. He thought he could throw it.
Yeah.
No, you're right. He wasn't going to, but he thought he could.
No, you don't throw the ball. Coach Tommy West, our guest. Next week we'll get more into the matchups with the college football playoff out. No matter how many teams, Coach, we have, there's always controversy. Leading the controversy this year, Notre Dame, Cry Me a River.
It doesn't matter if the system's broken, but it doesn't matter if you've got 12, then number 13 is going to be mad. If you've got 32 teams, number 33 is going to be mad he didn't get in. There's always going to be somebody, but I don't like playing, I don't like if I don't get my way, I'll take my ball and go home. To me, come on now. And this opting out of bowl games, and to me, that's kind of, cry me a river. Exactly.
As hard as you work to get in one, can you imagine opting out of one?
No, I really can't. I kind of think you think you're a little better than you are. Although and we can get into this next week, but although I got a problem with why we have 12 teams and we don't have the 12 best teams.
I do too.
I mean, I have an issue with that. If we're going to have a playoff, then we should have the 12 best teams. And if we do, then those opening games are going to be probably Texas at Oregon, and then Notre Dame at Ole Miss.
Vanderbilt in there.
And Vandy might have been, Vandy might have slipped in. They might have been number 12. I don't know.
But we did agree to this system. But after this contract is up, I want to get it to where it's the best in there.
Yeah, and I don't got a problem with with Tulane's and James Madison. If you're in the top 12, I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Austin Peay or who it is. If you're in the top 12, you're in the playoffs. Now if we have 16, then it's the top 16. That's my whole problem, is teams that deserve to be in the playoff are getting punished.
I know we're going to keep doing it and keep expanding it, but do you think football is really made to have this much playoff season?
I think they can. I think, you go back to we don't have to just have one college football playoff. I mean, personally, right now, I'd probably vote for the Power Four to have their playoff. And then, for years, 1AA, what they call it now, the championship series, they've had their playoff for a long time, and everybody would go, why can't we do what they do and have one? So, I mean, you don't have to just have one playoff. I mean, you can have two, or you can have three for that matter.
You can. Coach West, we'll visit again next week. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.
Coach Tommy West with us every week talking college football. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. In the Sissy's Log Cabin, they are the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies. And at FedEx Forum with the Floor Seat Lounge, that great location at 4542 Poplar at Poplar and Perkins in Laurelwood, supporter of Tigers Athletics, and also a sponsor of our Look Back at the Weekend in the SEC that we've had all football season. Mondays at 4:30. Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, all those special moments for this special time of season. 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood since 1970 with all the great locations across the Mid-South. Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. When we come back, we'll talk the Lakers tonight in their event, the NBA Cup. Landon and Brett on Sports Time. That comes up next.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Founded in 1991 by lifelong law enforcement officers, ProTech Security can perform all security services for personal or corporate clients. Uniformed armed guard, plainclothes officers, neighborhood patrols, violence in the workplace, event and party security, dignitary protection, and alarm response. Licensed and insured in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee. They are currently looking for armed security officers, retired law enforcement, and military personnel especially. Premium pay and no limit on hours worked. If interested, give them a call at ProTech Security, 901-274-3400.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's takeover time, and you'll know when. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and the takeover time I mentioned is when your house has been on the market for so long and you want somebody to come in, take over, properly market it, and get it sold. People often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon, because I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. It involves preparation before you go on the market, along with proper presentation and accurate pricing based on our ever-changing market and rates, and being made aware of what's going on around you so you can make intelligent decisions, not merely guessing. Call me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com and let me take your listing over and get it sold. I may be lousy at golf, but I sure do sell some homes. Call me, Sheldon Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Landon, 2 years ago, I really cracked on the Lakers when they made such a big deal about winning the NBA Cup and had the ceremony. I mean, brought the lights down low and the big PA voice guy and all the pageantry and trappings of a franchise that's won 17 NBA titles. Now, I also said it then, I'll repeat it today. I know the league wants to make this a big deal. Mm-hmm. And a league official told me a few years ago when they got the memo from the office of the commissioner, you do not denigrate, poo-poo, belittle anything about this. We're trying to make this big. So in that vein of trying to make it big, don't we have to have something other than the massive players pool money of fabulously wealthy people making even more money? Shouldn't we tie it to something come playoff time? No, not a one seed, but how about this? If you win the NBA Cup, you'll probably make the playoffs the next spring, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think so.
Every game of the first round at home.
That'd be a huge bid.
Have a little something out there.
I think something like that, or maybe even take it a step further and have something to do with draft picks going into the offseason. Have something where you're winning gets you in a better position. I know they have.
I don't mind that, and one of the big negatives to mine is it sounds too much like the All-Star game being tied to home field advantage in Major League Baseball,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
which was plumb goofy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I know the players are playing for that big players pool pot. Again, great. I am pro player. I want them to get everything they can get because I know the league has it and I know those owners have it. And I know that time frame of playing can be over in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
The next time you go up to dunk or go back for a pass, anything in sports.
Coming down from it, yeah.
Anything. It can end in a second. So I want them to get all they can get.
Mm-hmm. But
what does that do for me, Joe fan?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Like, okay,
SGA's making more money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I think on top of that, I mean, sarcastically speaking, the stakes are already pretty high because the Lakers are chasing to be the first ever 2-time NBA Cup champions.
That really will be the ceremony, won't it?
Move
aside
two
Jerry
banners.
West,
I mean, come on.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson. Move aside Kobe Bryant and Shaq. Move aside James Worthy and Byron Scott. Heck, move aside George Mikan.
Mm-hmm.
They never won in L.A.
Yeah, well,
all in Minneapolis.
I mean, yeah, move aside if you're going to claim 2-time and
how would you tie the draft? You would never give number 1 pick out of this.
No, I don't
they're already
think so.
good, and the most simple thing in drafts are last go first.
And I think already when you have the lottery and how already that's shaken up and how some miraculous way the Mavericks got it last year, I don't know how exactly you could tie in, but to your point, I feel like if you want to make this a big deal, there's got to be more implications than just a little pop.
At worst, you're the 7th pick of the next draft.
Something like that.
See, I want it tied to this year where you go and we win tonight. We have like every, and I want to hear other ideas, but we have every first round game at home.
Mm-hmm. And I think that definitely makes
6 of the 7.
And it definitely makes it worth it makes it worth more if you have those kind of
more, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not the SEC, but they
just
try.
The SEC, can it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll try. It never means just as much as it does in the SEC
because it means more there.
It just means more to us.
But tonight it will be San Antonio and the Lakers, no Wemby, and Phoenix against Oklahoma City. Already with their one title and a trophy case, I will guarantee you reserved for many, many more.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the NBA Cup mean that big a deal?
I don't think it's high on their priority list.
Oh, breaking news. Sharon Moore out at Michigan. Did you see that?
I saw that, yeah. He's
Sharon
now
Moore
out
at Michigan.
Kind of looking forward to talking with David Cohn about that.
We're winning the timing award.
How about that? Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be lucky, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And that was right on cue.
Sharon Moore out. I wonder if it's anything not on the field.
My instant thing is they finally lost to OSU and they had enough.
But he was very interim.
Mm-hmm.
But last year,
beating at OSU, I believe, kept him there.
Beat Ohio State and beat Alabama.
Yeah,
last year.
Very true.
But Sharon Moore out, and this is hard time to find a coach. That it's kind of settled.
It has. I think this is kind of after,
and we know who it's not going to be. Won't be take 2 for Jim Harbaugh.
No, I don't think so. I think he's found his home.
Well, how about that? You never know. We'll talk next with David Cohn about it. That's exactly what we'll do to start our second hour. David Cohn, the co-host of Crane and Company. We talk college football with him. He played college football at Michigan. I bet you he has a lot of friends that know a lot of things about that. Mm-hmm. We'll get that from him. 1 hour in the books. You're listening to Sports Time with Landon and Brett.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hey everybody out there, Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Collierville at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/beat. That's ethos.com/beat.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Celebrate the new year with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as we welcome the nationally ranked Navy Midshipmen and the Cincinnati Bearcats to the biggest party in town. Great football and a halftime show featuring country music star Matt Stell. It's all happening at the 67th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on Friday, January 2nd at 3:30. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. During the holidays, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, Billy. Pretty good right now, right on schedule. Actually, 40 east over here at Sycamore View Road all the way out into Fayette County. Midtown traffic's gotten a little bit busier. I-40, especially there around Chelsea. Now it's only going to get heavier south of Memphis on the interstate as you travel 55 down into DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Stop by and see them this holiday season. Shop local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck when you're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, I was talking about how lucky we were going to be, and sometimes you're unlucky. David Cohn, with his responsibilities with Crane and Company, having to provide instant reaction at their site, so he's not going to join us right now. We think we'll catch up with him before the end of this segment. At 4:30, we're going to talk the Memphis golf story with Rex Hoggard, but what we were so excited to talk to David about, college football like every week, but also the breaking news of Sharon Moore out at Michigan, and the story is developing, and it's not flattering. The story I'm reading from ESPN, Michigan has fired Sharon Moore following an investigation that found credible evidence he was engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. That'll get you fired every time.
Yeah. As soon as I heard the phrasing of it was immediate, it was very, very quick once they discovered it. Kind of points to all those directions.
Well, and I hate that for him and the other person involved and for his career. And now Michigan, at a time where a lot of the carousel and the dominoes have fallen, they got to go hire a coach. But it is Michigan.
Mm-hmm. It is. And like you were saying, this is kind of, we've reached the calm after the storm with all the coaching carousel finally coming to a rest. And now this one blows wide open, but it's a very suitable job for somebody to go out.
It's a great job. It's Michigan. It's Michigan with that quarterback, that
Bryce
freshman
Underwood,
quarterback, and a lot of players. But now because of the coaching change, they're all immediate free agents.
Yeah.
And we know what Bryce Underwood was like last year in free agency, and it wasn't going to be cheap to keep him this year at Michigan. So a lot of questions around one more college football titan in the Michigan Wolverines. Biff Poggi, who a lot of people are familiar with when he was the coach at Charlotte, named the interim, but they're not going to stay with that. They can do better, and they will. I don't even know where to start on names thrown out for that.
I don't either. I mean, obviously, people are going to throw out the just unlikely of everybody. They're going to want Nick Saban to come back and all the people who are already retired. Those aren't happening. I don't know who else is out there to go anywhere.
And I'm just trying to think of that young coach that maybe wasn't in the carousel this time. Again, a guy like Jed Fish, who was loosely linked to Florida, but we know he was at least third choice because Lane was one, and the guy they got, John Summerall, two, and Jed Fish has been at a lot of different places and has a great reputation. He's at Washington. I'm just thinking out loud. I really
I don't have any thoughts leading anywhere to any specific person right now.
But if you're in the coaching business, if you put that on your tax form, that's a place you would want to be the head coach of.
Absolutely. Anything like that to add to your resume is obviously going to be a great draw. I'm thinking because you got to think. I mean, Memphis was looking heavy at Jerry Mack, a guy who took a terrible program, turned him around. They just signed a new deal. He's off the table. But is it maybe somebody, I don't know, who's been super successful that's maybe not one of those really well-known teams? Or are we looking at an offensive coordinator from one of the big names?
Well, and Sharon Moore, took it under the challenging circumstances of the end of Harbaugh. But I don't think I think they would want a real established head coach, but that may be hard to find with as the carousel has kind of done its thing for the year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of those teams that we've seen with huge offensive explosions this year. I mean, you think, Indiana's not going to let go of any of their guys anytime soon.
And nobody played. Well, I wouldn't think. There's a head coach out there that didn't coach his team in the playoffs though this year, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that's true. And
he wasn't allowed to, but he knew he wasn't going to be allowed to.
Yeah, but the only reason I bring up that is because we know that Ohio State's offensive coordinator just landed a new job as well. So,
and the scuttlebutt that how interested the New York Giants, how they are in the Notre Dame coach in Marcus Freeman. If that opened, that's two gigantic Midwest jobs out there.
I forgot about that too, man.
A lot of courtship will occur with the Giants and him, and he feels like it looks like he could do that.
Oh, I believe in him 100%. I remember you asked me earlier on in the season when the Titans coach was up for jobs. Marcus Freeman was one of the top names that I mentioned. I would love to have him as a coach.
His name out there for a lot of potential pro jobs, but this is tough timing for Big Blue. That again with that freshman quarterback. If you could keep him, you could win a lot of games.
Yeah, you certainly can, and you definitely have all the pieces. And like we've been mentioning, it is Michigan, and all the history and everything that's involved with these Wolverine team is going to be huge. But man, I think it's just wide open right now, and there's no telling what direction it's going to go.
No, it's really not. And there are some younger coaches out there, but I don't think Michigan can go through the hiring process and introduce the next Michigan head coach after one good year at Wake Forest, Jake Dickert.
No, and I don't think Michigan's really ever been in a state where they're quote unquote rebuilding or anything. And
they won't allow it.
No, I don't think so. So definitely, it's going to be somebody who's more seasoned. Definitely somebody who has the experience. It's just a matter of where.
And you wonder if this would at all jeopardize player availability for their bowl game against Texas on New Year's Eve. And not just any bowl, a glamorous bowl.
Yeah.
Still in the bowl scene out there, the Citrus Bowl. What if collectively those players said, we ain't playing?
I mean, we've already seen it with full teams already withdrawing from bowl bids. So
yeah, it's one thing to leave the Birmingham Bowl hanging.
Yeah. It's another thing to leave this.
You leave ABC and the SEC and the Citrus Bowl people hanging at Michigan.
It's a different
is another
story.
Now, Biff Poggi, I'm sure, is probably going to them now and saying, don't get in the road. I got to have you for this bowl game. And then what kind of effort?
Mm-hmm. And then
already a 6.5 point underdog that will go up.
I think that's dramatically going to increase after this.
And the whole bowl scene is really in a state that I never thought I would see it in. I think one thing that led to it, so many things were done wrong through the years. First of all, and I took absolute you-know-what for first saying this, and this is when FBS had 90 teams in it.
Mm-hmm.
I said there are too many teams trying to play FBS football. They're trying to be something that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot keep up with even with that notion of someday I might land where JMU did this year, or North Texas being close to it. There's about, I would say, out of the now 136, and I was first saying this at 90, and I mean was blistered about it. I was right then, I'm sure right at 136. There's too many trying to play. So the NCAA gave pretty much carte blanche to letting just anybody move up to FBS. That was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Then they move up, and they didn't like that they weren't going to a bowl. So the NCAA started approving a lot of these less desirable bowls.
Yeah.
A lot of them owned by ESPN for cheap programming. There used to be a pretty strict criteria for a bowl. You had to have a stadium of a certain capacity. I want to say it was around 35 or 38,000. You had to have that. You had to have an established, committed for several years corporate sponsor. So you didn't have, you named the sponsor, a different one every 3 or 4 years at whatever bowl. And they relaxed that, and then they just started popping up from everywhere. The fact that in Orlando, and I mentioned the Citrus Bowl, that's where that game is played in Orlando. That's a great bowl. That goes back to roots of, it's the 7th oldest bowl. That's the 7th oldest bowl, I can assure you. Whether it was Tangerine or whatever name you want to call it, but that's what it goes back to. Any Google search of the oldest bowls, I promise you, Citrus Bowl pops up as 7th, regardless of what some say around here about the oldest bowls. But Orlando's got 3 now, all played at Camping World Stadium. Do they really need 2 other bowl games?
No.
The bowl game, frankly, the bowl game the Tigers are going to. You got a bowl in Tampa. You got a bowl at Raymond James Stadium. It's now called the whatever it is called. It used to be called the Outback Bowl. It's on New Year's Day. I think it's the ReliaQuest Bowl now. Iowa and Vanderbilt playing in it this year. I mean, do we really need 2 there? I know immediately people are going, well, who are you to say who should or shouldn't? This is how we get in this position. We need somebody to say, no, we got enough bowls in Orlando. We don't need 2 more.
Yeah.
In Dallas, Fort Worth, we've had a long-standing great bowl. It's called the Cotton Bowl. We don't need Toasters coffee, and we don't need bowls played at the Cowboys workout facility.
And I believe there's another one that came out this year in Frisco, Texas. It's not just the Frisco Scooter Bowl anymore. Now there's another one, I believe.
Yeah, the one Arkansas State's playing in, the Xbox Bowl.
Yeah.
Formerly the Bahamas Bowl. Who knew that the Bahamas Bowl would go to Frisco, Texas, and be the Xbox Bowl?
But to your point, why do we need that in Frisco again?
The reason why we have it is very cheap programming, very nominal payout. You don't have anything approaching the old full 5-day, even 5-day, never mind a week, never mind 7, 5-day bowl experience. You don't have that anymore. Now with the playoffs, even like going to the Sugar Bowl, that if Ole Miss wins against Tulane, and all the Georgia people said it from last year, it does not feel like going to the old Sugar Bowl. It's really
it's lost the mystique.
It has the Sugar Bowl stamp on it. It's in New Orleans. It's going to be New Year's night, but it doesn't feel like going like it used to. Even 2015.
Yeah.
When Ole Miss went for the first time in 46 years. It sure won't feel like it did New Year's Day 1970, Ole Miss and Arkansas.
No, and it used to be a big deal. Like the Cotton Bowl when Memphis went to go play Penn State, that was a huge deal. Now it's just lost. It's just lost that.
It's just a playoff game, isn't it?
It is.
And the Cotton Bowl, of all the bowls I've been to, and I think I've been to 18 different bowls, the Cotton Bowl is the best.
Yeah.
Everybody that goes will tell you that. I think second best that I've been to, probably the Sugar Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty Bowl is way up there. But, I'm not coming in from out of town, but I know how well they do treat people and what they used to and how they used to have the full bowl experience. But the Liberty Bowl, because of economics a few years ago, shelved the luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things are being cut back at various bowls because we have too many. Somebody's got to stand up and say, no, we've got too many. It's diluting the product.
It is. It is, and to your point as well.
And if I got to be the big meanie, I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, well, and on top of that too, of what we've been talking about, those big New Year's Six Bowls used to be those. I guarantee you, Ohio State is not parading that they were all those bowl champions. They're parading that they're the college football playoff national champions.
That's right.
They're not parading that they won all those bowls.
It's a great point, Landon. I warned about this. Potentially, this could happen, and I think I might more than most. But let's say Ole Miss beats Tulane. We're going to get to our path at 5:30.
Yeah.
Let's say Ole Miss beats Tulane, then they would advance to the Sugar Bowl. To me, I'm still going to the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. A lot aren't going to feel that way, but I will. If Ole Miss wins that game against Georgia, they would then advance to play, most likely, probably, Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm going to be proud of it. If they win that, they then would advance to the college football national championship game, non-bowl affiliated. Do you really want to go to the Sugar and the Fiesta in the same year? Well, yeah, because that's how it's drawn up now. But that dilutes that you have gone. I think. But yeah, I want to advance. But yay, we went to the Sugar and the Fiesta. Well, when? All in the same year. I warned against that several years ago. I was never opposed to a playoff. I never, ever was opposed to a playoff. I just warned it's not going to be the panacea. It's not going to be the end all. So many think that it will be. David Cohn joins us now. He does every Wednesday. David, we're not going to have music today. We got to get right to it. Shocking breaking news at your alma mater. Thank you for joining us. I know you're busy.
Thank you guys so much for your patience here. I just got done doing a hit here with our show, Craning Company. I'll just fill you in like I just filled in my co-host on things that I've been hearing for the past few months, guys, and I think that I can share this now. I have heard from many credible sources high up within the University of Michigan who said they have found out that Sharon Moore was involved in inappropriate sexual relationships within the building at the University of Michigan, and that they thought that this was going to result in his firing. Now, I heard this 3 times throughout the season. Do you want to know the 3 times I heard it? The first one was after a loss to Oklahoma. The second one was after a loss to USC. And the third one, obviously, was when social media started really taking off with this story after the loss to the Buckeyes. Now, while I heard this situation from credible sources, it still is tough when it's only coming up following losses in football games, because I never want to be a part of breaking any sort of news where you have fans who are upset because of on-field performance and they want to move on from a head coach and try and say things that are happening in an inappropriate sense. I saw Brian Harsin go through this at Auburn. Mm-hmm. He was not performing well on the field, and you started to hear all these rumors about the possibility of an inappropriate relationship he had with a staff member he brought from Boise State. And I had people calling me left and right saying, hey, that's not true. Make sure you guys don't run with that. Well, it looks like now this story with Sharon Moore, at least part of it is true, because Ward Manuel's just put out a statement saying that they are going to move on from Sharon Moore as the head coach with cause.
Now, David, Ward Manuel, I'm going to bring him into the focus a little bit. People are going to want to know the Dan Rather question. What did you know and when did you know it, and how long did he know it and maybe let it happen?
Yeah, and that's a good question.
His
and
job
I'm going to
could
be
be
on record. just like when I was on record just now with Crane & Company, I want to be on record with your listeners as well. If you engage in activity that should result in you being fired for cause, then you should be fired for that cause, regardless if you're undefeated as a head coach or whether you've lost every single game. This conflating the on-field performance with the way that you handle yourself ethically as a man off the field, to me, like those should not be conflated whatsoever. So this idea that we're just going to look past certain behavior, let's say if Michigan were undefeated right now headed into the college football playoff, like that to me is unacceptable, and it doesn't set a good example for the young men that we're trying to raise and to lead in this sport and in this world.
Do you think it will ensnare Ward Manuel?
I do not, and I don't have any inside information on what he knew when. I think that at the end of the day, he probably did his due diligence, and this is what he said in his statement anyway, in that he let an investigation play out. Now, what could he possibly be guilty of? He probably let this play out until after signing day. I'm not saying that the guy didn't know several weeks ago that he had enough information in an investigation to go ahead and fire Sharon Moore at some point during the season, but waited until he had recruits already signed. Maybe he's guilty of that, and if you think that that's unacceptable, then I can certainly get on board with that, and I feel bad for any young man who signed their John Hancock to play for Michigan this past week, and they thought Sharon Moore was going to be the head football coach, and he's not. So that's an entirely different discussion. But on, waiting for like any other reasons to see if possibly Michigan beats the Buckeyes in the last game of the season and makes the Big Ten championship game or makes the college football playoff, like all I can say is I hope that was not the case. If this guy engaged in the activity that I've been hearing about for the last 3 months, and that is ultimately what resulted in his firing, then you need to make that decision no matter what his record is on the field.
Yeah, they do. David Cohn, our guest, he's with Crane & Company. Jake Crane joins John Harden every Monday at 11:07, and we have David Cohn with us every Wednesday during the college football season, and he is a proud Michigan man and played football there, played quarterback there for Michigan. David, we know with any coaching change, you got 30 days for immediately to get out of town. Are they scared they will lose players off that roster, including that very ballyhooed freshman quarterback?
Are they scared? I don't think scared is the right word, especially in this era where you're going to lose players no matter what. Now, I do think Sharon Moore was named the successor to Jim Harbaugh that week after he left following the national championship there for the 2023 season. I think Sharon Moore was elevated as the successor to keep that team cohesion that you're talking about. Yes. And, many people like Colin Cowherd said this is the wrong decision. Forget team cohesion. Forget if guys hop in the transfer portal. Go hire the best football coach that you can. And I advocated for Sharon Moore because based off that calendar based off the fact that you were already so late in the cycle, I thought, and Sharon Moore had filled in for half the games during Jim Harbaugh's suspension and won them, that I thought he would be a natural successor. Naturally, these last 2 years, the coaching and the development has not been up to par with what the standard Jim Harbaugh set. And look, a lot of guys can't do that. He's one of the greatest coaches that we've seen at both levels of football. So will guys enter the transfer portal? Most likely. Will Bryce Underwood? I don't know at this point. And look what's happening with Michigan basketball right this second. Yeah. Michigan basketball. And I thought the same thing when they hired Juwan Howard, a former Fab Five member, no head coaching experience. I said, hey, give the guy a shot following John Beilein's exit to the NBA. They gave him a shot. It didn't work out. What did Ward Manuel do? He went and hired Dusty May, and it looks like Dusty May in year 2 has created the greatest basketball team in the country. So you know what? If some guys want to quit and they want to leave because Sharon Moore is no longer with the program, and I get it. I understand being loyal to a head coach. I had to go through a head coaching change when I was at the University of Michigan. Then I'm sorry, but don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. We're going to go out and try and hire the best football coach in America. You know who's coming after
Underwood. The runner-up in his high school recruitment, Lane Kiffin, will come hard for him.
Yeah, well, and that's obviously where he was committed before he flipped his commitment from LSU to the University of Michigan. But you know what? If we're sitting here trying to convince a quarterback who threw for 60 yards against the Buckeyes that, oh no, please stay here. I mean, at the end of the day, he threw 9 touchdowns this year and 6 interceptions. Now, I just got done with a Michigan hit yesterday on the Michigan podcast that everybody should go listen to on YouTube. And I said Bryce Underwood should not have been starting as an 18-year-old kid. The difference between a true freshman and a redshirt freshman like Julian Sand, or even a third year like Arch Manning, makes the world of difference. Bryce Underwood, based off his athletic talent and how hard he works in the film room, I truly believe he can be the best quarterback in America if he really gets to work. But he has a lot of work to do. And either you want to do that work at the University of Michigan or you don't. And if he wants to leave for LSU and he ended up cutting his teeth, then, again, back to my Michigan basketball point. Okay, so what? We're going to go try and hire the best football coach in America, and we're going to get back to being the team that I know that Michigan can be. But, yeah, it's just, man, it's the phone's ringing off the hook right now, and it's a crazy time for Michigan.
Yeah, David, Brett and I have been talking about this, especially with the timing of all of this and how the coaching carousel is kind of wound down a little bit here. And it might be too early to speculate, but who would you say is a front runner? Yeah, where do you start with the filling that void for the Michigan coaching job?
That's a really great question, man. And it's hard to say where you would start in a cycle where LSU, Florida, Penn State, Auburn have already not only been open but have closed their hires, right? And even Matt Campbell was a name that I heard months and months ago. A dear friend of mine said Matt Campbell would be a great coach if we could get him over from Iowa State. I disagreed, and I said as much today when we broke down how we evaluated that hire for Penn State. But again, now you're going to be up against the A-ball. This is how you really know that it was for cause and not on the field, because Michigan certainly wouldn't have made an on-the-field move following a cycle where all these heavy-hitter programs have already made hires. But you know what? I'll say what I said today on our Grade the Coaching Hire segment that we did. There is no A. I don't even know how you evaluate these coaches anymore. On paper, Brian Kelly to LSU would have been an A+, the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. Meanwhile, Curt Cignetti, with 2 seasons under his belt at James Madison going to Indiana, who in the world would have given that an A? And all he's done is win 24 football games in 2 years. So I don't know. If you can go out and find a diamond in the rough like Indiana found with Curt Cignetti, then that, to me, that's what the University of Michigan needs to do. And if they can hit a home run like that, like it looks like they've done with the basketball program, then they're going to be in better shape than they were this past season.
David, we will talk more about this and the playoffs on the field next week. Thank you for joining us on the fly. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for your patience today.
You got it. David Cohn with us every week, and today, abbreviated segment because he had his own duties to attend to on the now open Michigan job. This hour brought to you every day by Landers Ford in Collierville, the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South, your trusted destination for a vehicle that fits any lifestyle, any price point. They've got the vehicle for you. Seamless shopping experience, from vehicle choice to financing and service, from the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco. Every vehicle built Ford tough, and that Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck. Oil changes, tires rotated, go online and schedule when it suits your schedule the best. It'll be done quickly to meet your busy schedule. All the SUVs like the Ford Escape, the Ford Explorer, the Ford Expedition, the Ford Broncos, EVs, hybrids, they have them all at Landers Ford. Very active in our community in Collierville at 2082 West Poplar and online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. When we come back, Rex Hoggard, our guest, on his story about the changing PGA Tour schedule that will impact Memphis in the future. That's next on Sportstime.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
If you're thinking of selling your home, think of me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf, because I've got the tools. No, I can't fix anything around the house. Heck, I never even finished my shoe shine kit in high school shop. And if you play golf with me, you'll see why I'm known as the worst golfer in town. And they call me Mr. 3-Putt or Sheldon the Shank. But I have all the tools to get your home sold. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. And I'm part of a nationwide relocation network that provides many more transferred buyers coming into our market. Always interview 2 to 3 brokers. Make sure you include me. the bald, bad golfer who people say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. Reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's right, my website says it all. memphisrelocate.com, or anytime call me at 483-0546.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Rick's Powder Coating, for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Expect heavier traffic flow here in the next few minutes. Trying to get out of Midtown on 240 South here at South Parkway as traffic increases quite a bit. 40 east from Warford, Hollywood, all the way over to White Station. Making your way out into Collierville right now on 385 Bill Morris Parkway. That's still moving, but it's moving pretty good out through there right now, especially 240 as you get onto 385 going outbound. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Check them out at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Bryant's out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Landon producing and co-hosting. I'm Brett Norsworthy. This is Sports Time. And we always enjoy and appreciate so much when Rex Hoggard from Golf Channel joins us during majors out here at Memphis. I don't know that we've ever checked with Rex in December, and his story that first went to publish last night at Golf Channel, and the lead is terrific, Rex. You start with, if there was any ambiguity as to Brian Rolap's vision for the PGA Tour, it was washed away last week by Tiger Woods, the lead architect and frontman for the Chief Executive's Future Competition Committee. Quote, "There's going to be some eggs that are spilled and crushed and broken, but I think in the end we're going to have a better product that is far better than we have now for everyone involved." Let's start with that provocative quote from Tiger Woods and his role in predicting the future. We look at the schedule and we don't see Memphis, Rex.
Well, to be fair, I think this was just an idea. This was an experiment, which is what Tiger Woods and that committee, the Future Competition Committee, is doing. And look, he stumbled over his metaphors quite a bit in that quote, but I think it's pretty clear. I don't think there's any ambiguity there. And if you look at what Brian Rolap, the new CEO of the PGA Tour, asked this committee to do, there was 3 central tenets, and one of them was parity, and the other one was scarcity. And I think scarcity is pretty clear, and that's what I was trying to get at in this column. The idea being that we all know there's going to be fewer events on the PGA Tour schedule if Brian Rolap and Tiger Woods get their way, and I think we can all assume they're going to get their way, somewhere in the 20 and 25 event range. Keep in mind that in next year's schedule, there's going to be 38 events in 2026. That includes the 3 playoff events, which obviously includes the FedEx Invitational, your event in Memphis. That was one of the ones I stumbled over because we all know how important FedEx is to the PGA Tour. Not only have they been a longtime sponsor of the event in Memphis, the St. Jude, which has been an incredible stop with so many good things that come out of it, They also spend a lot of money to sponsor the season-long points race. So I don't want to sit here and say that, yes, I think that the Memphis stop is going away, because I don't particularly believe that. I think FedEx is such an important part of the DNA that is the PGA Tour that they will continue to be part of it. But this experiment was all about looking at those broken eggs that Tiger Woods talked about. The idea that if I gave you a blank piece of paper and told you to start over with the PGA Tour schedule, what would that schedule look like? And this was sort of that experiment.
So for 26, we stay the same. The first change is in 27, and some are predicting the major overhaul for 28. Both locally and some other places I've talked to today, they say, slow down. The tour can't do this or won't do this because of existing TV contracts through 2030.
Now, that's 100% fair. To be clear about this, Tiger Woods last week in the Bahamas, when we spoke with him at the press conference, talked about 2027 being the target date. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like that's so aggressive because, look, it's a year away. It's more than a year away at this point. But to your point, there are so many contracts involved. And we're not just talking about the media partners, and those go through 2029. And clearly that's going to be a big part of the conversation. But you're talking about corporate sponsors. You're talking about title sponsors. You're talking about golf courses. You're talking about organizations that all run these events. There's so many moving parts to this. I'll go back to what I just said. It's a fun experiment with a blank piece of paper, but as a member of the policy board told me last year, they don't really have a blank piece of paper right now. So I think 2027, which is what Tiger said, is a little aggressive. I would be really surprised. I'd put that up there with, compared to his 15 majors or 82 PGA Tour titles, as one of the greatest accomplishments of Tiger's career if he can pull this off because of how complicated it is. That's why I went to 2028. And it was just better in my mind to wrap around the idea, okay, if we're going to start new, let's do it in 2028 or 2029. Pick a year once all these contracts come due.
And Rex, I really don't mean this next comment as snippy and maybe as smart alecky as it's going to come off, but I find the word scarcity in Tiger Woods in Memphis just way too rich, because he's been Mr. Scarcity to Memphis, other than a Nike event summer of 98 or 99 at Pine Hill. He'd never put one peg in the ground at a tournament in Memphis. So he's been very scarce to us.
Look, that's fair. And Tiger Woods never said one thing about the event in Memphis or any other specific event, to be clear. This was sort of something that I tried to do last week when I was in the Bahamas, talking to as many players as I could about, if I did give you that blank piece of paper, what do you think the schedule is going to look like? But again, not only Tiger Woods' comments were pretty clear, but also Brian Rolapp. He spoke at a business conference the week before that. And he also was pretty clear about the idea that he believes less is more when it comes to the PGA Tour product. And I do believe, I didn't just write this just to get clicks or get headlines.
I know.
I think this is the way the PGA Tour is going.
Yeah. Hey, Rex, one of the things that stood out to me about this is kind of the overwhelming support you had with a lot of players being in support of taking that week off after all of the major events. Where do you stand on potentially that being a change coming in the future?
I understand where it's coming from. And look, this has been building for a while. And I don't even think it's the top players. And I do think the top players, or at least the majority of players, believe that maybe we take the week off after a major. Because let's face it, one of my most enjoyable days of the year, and this is going to come out wrong, but is on Monday after the Masters, because I get in my car at Augusta National and I drive over to Hilton Head, and it's such a different feeling. It's such a sort of release after what is always a really intense, special week at the Masters, but it's very intense. So I'm not particularly a fan of it, because I love making that drive on Monday morning over to Hilton Head. But I understand where the players are coming from. I also understand, let's keep this in mind, I think there's a lot of quote-unquote partners, media and otherwise, who also like the idea, because all we do the week after these big events, the four majors, and I'll put the Players' Championship in there, is talk about what happened at these big events. And it takes away from what's going on that particular week. And I think Brian Rolapp and Tiger Woods' goal here is to make every event on the PGA Tour special.
And Rex Hoggard, you do that very well with your partner, Ryan Lavner, both in the coverage and with your podcast that runs on the Golf Channel. I love it, and I learn a lot from it. Rex Hoggard, our guest from Golf Channel, talking about the changes that are coming in the PGA Tour world. Now, Rex, I would come back to this on the weekend after the Masters. First of all, at the Masters, only about 60 players make the cut. a lot of them don't even go to Hilton Head. Bernard Longer and Scotty Scheffler are the only two ever to win at Augusta and then turn around the next weekend. So they're kind of de facto taking a weekend off. I mean, they're going to play golf at Hilton Head. Is it killing them?
It's not killing me. As I said, that's my most enjoyable Monday of the year. But I think this has more to do with creating the best possible product. Okay. And I don't necessarily have a hard time. And I think I included this. Again, this was an experiment. So I started with, we all know what the 4 dates of the majors are going to be, going all the way out to 2028. And if you start walking backwards, and if you listen to players and the partners and the media partners, then they do want the week after these big events off. I did find it fascinating that no one has ever told me, officially or otherwise, that they're looking at a 20 or 25 event week schedule or a 2025 event schedule. But if you start the week after the Super Bowl, which is the consensus that you want to stay out of football shadow, and you go all the way until the day before Labor Day, which is what they do right now, and again, staying out of the shadow of football, with those weeks off after the big events, that's exactly pretty much 25 weeks.
That's it.
So I think what we're looking at here...
We only got 52 weeks on the calendar.
Yeah, so you want to own a portion of the schedule, and that just makes sense. I don't particularly... Well, I wouldn't sit here and argue with you about the idea that I don't know what the big deal is about playing the week after, other than you're going to be talking about the major anyway, instead of talking about the RBC Heritage. True. I do understand that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the starting after the Super Bowl, because that seems to be the consensus. But you know, you can dream with us a little bit here. When the NFL inevitably continues to make their season a little bit longer, and inevitably the Super Bowl gets pushed back a week, is golf going to keep pushing their dates back, or do we get to a place where we say no, we're gonna stick with this guideline for a time and maybe dip it a little bit into that shadow?
Someone reached out on social media, as they're prone to do, and pointed out that what if the NFL just keeps pushing back? Does the PGA Tour season start in April? No, but I mean, that's sort of being a little bit ridiculous, and you're going to take what you get. I will argue that, yes, they're probably going to add another game to the NFL season. I'm not quite sure how many more they can actually fit in, just from a health perspective. I don't know about your fantasy team, but mine's in really bad shape.
It's never enough,
Yeah, it's never enough. Rex, I reached out to some local officials here, and they kind of want to see how things break before responding on the air or too much, and I understand that. They didn't seem too concerned. We know we're in the playoffs next year. There's a FedEx Cup playoff contract in place through 27, not to mention the TV stuff through up until and maybe including 2030. If you were Memphis, if you were New Orleans, if you were the John Deere, if you were the two stops in Dallas, I mean, what's your concern level for those places? Something is getting cut.
Oh, man, you hit me hard. You hit me with every event that I love so much. New Orleans is one of my favorite events to go to. I was married in New Orleans, so that one's pretty special to me. I think, and I had this conversation at the end of this season at the Tour Championship, Brian Roloff had his annual meeting with the tournament directors. It was Friday afternoon during the Tour Championship in Atlanta. And I texted with a tournament director who was in that room. And I asked him, what's the tone like? And this is after Roloff had announced the committee and the three tenets of that committee, one being scarcity, as we pointed out. And the response from that tournament director was, there's a lot of guys in here that are looking at each other thinking to themselves, yep, I'm probably going to be scarcity. And I think that's going to be the collateral damage here. Right? And part of the story, I spoke with one player, Brian Harmon, who pointed out that, look, there's going to be people who suffer from this. There's going to be people on the wrong end of this. They feel like they're heading in the right direction, but you're right. As I pointed out, there's 38 events on next year's schedule. If you go to 25, it's simple math. Those events, I don't believe, are going to go away. I believe there's going to be another level underneath the PGA Tour, and that's going to be where the promotion and relegation comes from. But yes, they would suffer.
It sounds very foreboding, even including for 2028 because of Olympics again. I don't know who's going to break the news to the RNA, but maybe an August Open Championship.
Well, they've already changed the date. They did that just a few days ago, actually. They had adjusted the date from mid-July to the first week of August because of the Olympics in Los Angeles. Yeah.
That's a stunner. I don't know how I missed it now. The football monster's chewing on me pretty good. As I said, we normally don't get to visit with Rex Hoggard in December, but we were so glad to today. And Merry Christmas to you and yours, Rex.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Have a great holiday.
Always. Thank you so much. Rex Hoggard, so great to us always. And that schedule, and as he said, and I had a person not directly affiliated with the FedEx St. Jude Championship today, but very concerned and cares about it and has always been involved, say, this is a lot of hypotheticals and brainstorming and thinking out loud. But here's what I'm scared of. And I really did not mean that as a shot at Tiger Woods. I love him. Second favorite, maybe first favorite with Jack Nicklaus.
I'll go ahead and say he's my favorite
golfer of all time. Look, again, I didn't run with him. I don't know him. I don't care to. I bet he doesn't want to run with me. I bet he doesn't care to know me. I like watching him swing those golf clubs. That's what I like the most. And it was appointment TV, maybe in my life, of all the sports that I love so much, baseball and college football, my favorite thing, Tiger Woods with that Sunday red shirt on and those black trousers, because you knew it was on.
Oh, yeah.
And the best was walking into the arena. But he never cared that much about Memphis. Frankly, I don't know that he knows that next spring, almost $8 million will be the final count for this year to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital because of the golf tournament. I don't know that he knows that we had record crowds this year at the golf tournament for every day, including on Friday when it came a biblical rain. The monsoon of all time. Landon, and we were on the fly, weren't we?
Yeah, y'all. Well, you guys were actually in the middle of the heat. I was safely in this nice little room here.
And Saturday and Sunday, as big a crowds as I've ever seen on Saturday and Sunday at the golf tournament. TV ratings as big as they've ever been for that round of the playoffs, and even that particular August TV date.
Yeah.
So why are we in jeopardy?
I don't know. And
what do we do?
And to your point,
and never mind the big five letters. A couple of them are the same.
Yeah.
FEDEX.
Yeah. And to your point, I was out there, and the crowds were huge. I mean, we would leave holes early in order to get to that 18th hole where that playoff was being played.
It was a rare Sunday that I didn't go because it was so crowded, and I've been out there since Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, it was
third-degree sunburn.
I mean, there was not an open space for you.
That's a strange mix.
I mean, you got
sunburn and a flood.
You got all the weather that day.
So I'm concerned, but I don't think we need to hit the panic button.
I don't think so.
I think with this local leadership, Jack Salmons, Joe Tomic, people at Southwind, and at FedEx, I think calm will prevail.
Yeah.
And Memphis would and should stay on the PGA Tour's docket. Next summer will be the 69th time the tour has made its way through Memphis.
Wow.
69. So we'll see. At Jim's Place, speaking of been around for a long time, over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of celebration, family time, and these holidays, the lasting memories. You go anywhere during these days and you just hear and see and feel the laughter and the happiness of getting together, neighbors, co-workers, family, friends, the Terrace family. They've had that touch for our community with recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee on Friday. Jim's Place Grill always presents Jason Munns to talk Tiger basketball with us Friday at 5. Every steak grilled perfectly and over an open flame. Come to Jim's and taste and see and feel the difference. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark with hard work and values and a dedication to their beloved diners, the Terrace family. They've created that memorable dining experience. Still time to make space for you, for your office or our family get together. The lunch menu, the staples like the souffle mild shrimp cocktail, crab cakes, and those salad dressings, all homemade. At dinner, the calamari, the soups, the seafood, and the steaks that made Jim's famous, the fillets, ribeyes, and strips. The great bar area, a lot of fun any time of year, but especially during the best time of year at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. When we come back, we'll have big number of the day, wrap up hour number 2, Landon co-hosting and producing for Bryant. I'm Brett. We're Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation size courts, 3 high school size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hit me smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
A new exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card is your opportunity to go from cardholder to ticket holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026. For a limited time, when you're approved for a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card, you're eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at bfa.com/cardfwc26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says,
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Landon, sometimes my hearing can fluctuate. Did big number of the day come in a little hotter today? A little bit louder?
I think it did. It was kind of burning up in my ears a little bit too. Yeah.
Because I could really hear it, and sometimes that's rare for me.
It really is the big number of the day.
My big number is 9, as in 9 SEC teams in the college football playoff. No, SEC teams played a total of 9 games against teams in the college football playoff. They played a total of 9 games against other college football playoffs. We got a couple of rematches, and there were a couple that we didn't have that we almost had. I really thought Sunday morning, at 11 o'clock, the Ole Miss would be the 8th seed and rematch with hosting Oklahoma. And then, it popped up as the 6th and hosting Tulane, a rematch from a September game. You know how scared I was of Tulane that week.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the week of that game?
Oh, yeah, I was at that game.
And that's right. That's the game you attended. And I said I was more scared of Tulane than it was Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss barely beat Arkansas because I knew Tulane had a coach.
Yeah.
And Arkansas didn't.
And I remember we both on the other side of that saw that Ole Miss put together one of their most complete games of the season.
I still think it stands as the most complete, but that'll be one of the rematches. It's not going to be 5 touchdowns. I think Ole Miss will win. They're heavily favored 17.5, and I think around that number.
Yeah. Well, my big number of the day, it's a list, and I don't know if that falls into the rules of big number of the day, but I guess we'll make it.
We don't have any rules.
Yeah, it's like the bean machine; it can do whatever it wants.
Whatever we want.
But I came across this list, so I have a total of 5 big numbers today. Some of them not so big. Some of them, one of them rather big. But this is a list of NFL receiving leaders after turning 40 years old. Number 5 is -2 yards, and that is Brett Favre. I don't really remember.
Had to be a Karam.
Yeah. I don't really remember the play in which he got -2 receiving yards. I don't remember
the famous Favre to Favre combo.
No, I don't either. But he comes into this list at number 5. Number 4 is actually a 66-way tie with. With 66 players with 0 yards. Yes, it is a lot of numbers. So it's the biggest numbers of the day for me. 66 players tied with 0 receiving yards. They happen to beat Brett Favre, who had his -2.
We're not going to go through all 66.
No.
That was a categorical statement. We're not going to go.
You're right. I just wanted to reaffirm what you were saying there. Coming in at number 3, Mercedes Lewis with 2 yards. So he added 2 more to that.
Keep waiting for Steve Largent somewhere in here.
Unfortunately, he does not make this list. Number 2, Tom Brady, 6 yards. He's getting up there.
Could have been on quarterback throw-arounds, not just batted back.
I believe it was. And just a quick reminder,
had a big drop in Super Bowl 52. I was there.
He did. But this was of course after turning 40 years old, and then by a wide margin, number 1, Jerry Rice with 2,509 receiving yards.
Makes sense.
A very real list and a very interesting list to say the least.
And Jerry Rice on my list of greatest NFL players, I have his 2 behind Tom Brady.
And I would say, because of that, greatest receiver in the NFL. NFL history.
He was that. My greatest players of all time, we did that list. I have it in front of me. Brady 1, Rice 2, Jim Brown 3. Mm-hmm. Brown was 1 for a long time. Barry Sanders 4, Deion Sanders 5, Lawrence Taylor 6, Walter Payton 7, Joe Montana 8, Emmitt Smith 9, Ed Reed 10.
I don't have any complaints with that.
And if people do, send me yours and get your podcast. You put your list out.
Yeah.
It's a list.
The Sissy Log Cabin listener line is always open for a list of your top 10 players.
901-360-8255. Always open. And we want you to hit us up. 2 hours down. When we come back, we'll start hour 3 like we do always during college basketball season with Kevin Sweeney from College Basketball Central and Sports Illustrated. And we will talk the good story going on in Ann Arbor, and that's the Michigan men's basketball team. They are something to watch, and I did last night. We'll talk with Kevin about that and a lot of other things as we have hour number 3. I'm Brett. He's Landon. We're Sports Time. Stay with us.
This holiday season is short. Make every moment magical with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you'll take all your festive looks to the next level and find gifts to wow every one of your family and friends. Discover our unmatched quality, brilliant natural diamonds, and spectacular service when you shop in store or online at sissyslogcabin.com. Make this the most wonderful time of the year with a trip to Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
I somehow got on a Memphis barbecue algorithm on my phone.
Any chance it's because you constantly look up your own Central Barbecue radio spots?
I do not.
Seriously, come on, show me your browser history.
I will not. And it's not because of me looking up my own Central Barbecue spots. It's other stuff. But like I said, I'm on this Memphis barbecue algorithm, and I'm happy to say it's almost all people saying how great Central Barbecue is.
Well, of course, you can't beat Central Barbecue. It's the best barbecue in the world. Okay, what other stuff's on your browser history?
Can we just focus on doing a Central Barbecue spot?
Give me that phone.
Get off! Get off!
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Today's fun fact, the Malco Theater's popcorn you crave is now available during Grizzlies games at the FedEx Forum. Be sure to grab an extra bag for the post-game drive home. Need more? Order online at Malco.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents in their clearing stages midtown. Traffic right on schedule with that volume. 240 south at South Parkway. The further south you go at Memphis on 55 down through DeSoto County. Watch your speed. Hey, give the gift of clean this holiday season. Save 40% off right now. Zips Car Wash. Gift cards and watch books. They're perfect stocking stuffers. Check out zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden, weekdays from 11 to 1. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Final hour on this Wednesday. Brett and Landon with you. We'll go right up to 6 o'clock. Bryant will be back with us tomorrow, and we talk college basketball at this time from about Halloween all the way through the Wednesday after One Shiny Moment. We do it with Kevin Sweeney from CBB Central and Sports Illustrated, and Kevin joins us now. And Kevin, right now the headlines are screaming Michigan football, Ward Manual. Last night I watched Michigan basketball, and people could be screaming hail to the victors come springtime as the national champions. They look like a locomotive.
Yeah, I'm sure Ward Manuel is thrilled that he has nothing to worry about with his basketball program right now other than victories. I mean, they are absolutely awesome. It's nice to see them maintain the level that they played out in Vegas and take it into 2 more high major wins against Rutgers and Villanova. The size is just overwhelming at times, and I think what's scary is I think they're just now kind of figuring out all the ways they can use all the talent that they have on this roster. And there's every reason to believe this team may be better in February than they are right now.
I watched Jaxel Lindenborg closely when he was at UAB playing Memphis mostly. I thought he was good. Is he this good because of the cast around him and he's not being relied on to be the Batman, or has he improved that much and he's good regardless of the cast?
I think it's been really valuable for him to play with other high-level bigs and allow him to create a lot of mismatches, right? Think about last year, he was playing the 5 a lot for UAB, and so he's getting guarded by everybody's biggest, most athletic player. And I think there's still some of that, but it's just to pick your poison, and teams can't throw the same numbers that they did at him. I also think he's a late bloomer and someone that has consistently gotten better a little later in his career. And Dusty May's done a great job of putting him in really successful positions. So I think it's probably a little bit of both to answer your question.
Only 8 teams remain undefeated out of 365 in Division I. I think I ask you this and think this every year. Is that a real small number on December 10?
It feels like every year it sort of drops off a cliff between that Thanksgiving week and then the first week back, and you get to finals, and all of a sudden you go from 50 to closer to 5. And I think part of that's just the number of high-level matchups on the schedule we have now. Earlier in the season, right? A team like UConn that has traversed the country, played some of the best. They've got elite wins, but got nips by Arizona, things like that. I think it's just harder to stay undefeated as long as maybe it used to be.
And I was looking at who could maybe last the longest, and the unthinkable, somebody joined in the 50-year anniversary of it, 1976 IU. I think it's Michigan. They could keep that 0 in the right column for a while.
Yeah, they'll be 10-plus point favorites in every game until January 30th when they go to Michigan State. Mm-hmm. From there, it's like, all right, like they have to go to Purdue in mid-February. That's a tricky one, obviously. Duke on a neutral shortly thereafter. I wouldn't expect them to go undefeated, but they could make a run at this thing. The other team that maybe could as well is Vanderbilt. I know they're coming to Memphis here next week.
Week from tonight.
I don't know that they have the talent necessarily to do it, but they're another team that the schedule sets up pretty well in terms of home games against good teams. More manageable games on the road.
Yeah, and what a great segue, Kevin, into talking about the Tigers. They came off of definitely their biggest win of the season. And I know we've talked a lot about we didn't expect them to necessarily come out of the Bahamas with victories, but definitely much improved. And this is a much improved Memphis team. What do you expect to see from them going forward? And on the other side of that coin, what is Baylor's ceiling for the rest of the season?
I think this is a talented but flawed Baylor team because they have these 2 super talented wings with Carr and Yesufu, but both those guys are just so up and down, even inside of a game, in terms of their decision making and whatnot. And so you're going to get some head scratching moments. I think you felt that particularly for them going on the road to Memphis, and how would they manage that? And I thought Carr in particular really struggled. As for Memphis, I mean, the big step forward is the front court and seeing what Davis and Bradshaw did. Part of that is, I think, a function of Baylor's lack of size, and they hope they can get some of these bigger dudes back. Jocelyn Bodo was a key guy that they got in the portal that has not been available yet due to an arm injury. But still, again, whoever you're playing, this is by far the best front court performance by Memphis for the year, and that's a huge confidence booster heading into this important stretch.
The next 3 for the Tigers: Saturday on the road, Yum Center at Louisville. A week from tonight, 6 o'clock game downtown at FedEx Forum against undefeated Vanderbilt. And then the following Saturday, December 20th, on the road at Mississippi State. Paint me a 2-1 scenario. Who do you have to beat to get to 2-1 for Memphis in the next three?
I probably would say Vandy just because it's the home game, right? Take advantage of the fact that it's the first time for this Vandy team really entering a hostile environment, put pressure on them. And I do think Memphis matches up relatively well in some regards because they do have the athletes in the backcourt to run with this Vanderbilt team that's so good at getting up and down. Its guards have been so phenomenal. It'll be a massive challenge, and I love Mark Bryant's team. But if you were making me pick which one I think they have a better chance in, it's probably that home game against the Conference.
And at State?
I'm sorry?
And at Mississippi State?
Yes.
Too?
Yeah, I think Mississippi State has obviously struggled early on.
The toughie Saturday.
Josh Hubbard banged up. Yeah, that is the path. Louisville will be hard. Doesn't mean you can't win it, but that would be the hardest of the three to me.
Is Josh Hubbard? I know he's hurt, but there was a lot of conversation about it. Maybe him getting out of there at the end of last year. Is it all hunky dory at Starkville?
So what I was told last spring when those rumors were out there was that his concern was with Mississippi State's ability to put a good enough team around him, right? And the way this year has started, I mean, he's putting up 25 a night, it feels like, and not getting a lot of help. So an injury, however long it maybe lasts, would only maybe add fuel to this fire. I do think he's, because he's a local kid, because of what he is to that program, it will be hard for him to leave. I think there has been, quite frankly, since the moment he got there, people around him pushing him to get out, and he has stayed loyal. But when you have a bad year like this as a team, it becomes harder to sell, hey, this is why you should be here and be the face of this place.
And there was a day last spring, I don't remember the exact date, but sometime late April when, the rumors everywhere that he was on his way out and was headed to Memphis.
Yeah, it's funny. There were rumors about a lot of places. I was going to say there was a day where I thought he was headed to Florida. There may have certainly been a day where he was headed to Memphis. There have been, there has been a lot of people trying to move Josh Hubbard for quite some time, and so far unsuccessful. I wouldn't rule it out before his career's up, though.
Yeah, Kevin, over the weekend, Purdue, one of the best teams out there in college basketball, suffered their first loss against a top 10 team in Iowa State. It seems that a lot of people are kind of borderline overreacting to this one loss, and it was a major loss point-wise, but coming out of that, what do you make of Iowa State, and what do you make of this Purdue team?
Yeah, I think it said more about Iowa State than Purdue, right? I thought Iowa State was superb. I thought the way that they handled that environment. Your offensive improvement is very real. And again, part of that is they're just making a ton of shots right now. They're 44% from three on the season. I don't necessarily expect that to hold throughout the year. They're a good shooting team. They're not an elite one. But they have guys that are bought in, that play together, that understand the system. And I think Joshua Jefferson's the most underrated player in the country. He's been so good. Purdue, I think, probably needed to get humbled a little bit. I thought, they missed some wide open shots early in that game. It felt like they could have been up 10 at the half and said they were down 4. And instead of punching back right away, Iowa State went for the jugular and got it. So, I still worry about Purdue at times against teams that are super athletic and can get into their guards, take Braden Smith out of his comfort zone the way that Killian Torrey did. But this is still a really high-level team. And he'll get more help, Braden will, most nights. Trey Coughlin-Wren struggled. Fletcher Lawyer struggled. This is a team with too many wins under its belt to all of a sudden forget how to play.
Kevin, I'm trying my hardest this year to really push back, looking at the net ratings and looking at any mock tournament brackets. You haven't done a mock yet, have you?
No bracketology for me just yet, no.
Okay. When will you let your first one go?
Probably a couple of weeks into league play, mid-January. Martin Luther King Day, if you will.
That's a good time. I do know that out there that Memphis is not automatic from the American. I don't see that happening. When you can beat Scott Drew, you got to take care of business in the American.
Yeah, they should be the favorite, no question. And I've had a chance, the last couple of days to really take a big step back and look at a lot of the teams. When you're on the road, as much as I am, it's hard to have the full pulse of everybody. And I've tried to catch up here the last couple of days, and Memphis, to me, is clearly the best team in the league. They're better than South Florida. They're better than Wichita. They're better than Tulsa. Now, again, I think we've talked about this. I don't think this is a year that anyone runs away with this American Conference. I think it will be more competitive because the margin between Memphis and the field, really between the top-tier teams and the field, is not what it has been. But this is a Memphis team that, by every standard, should be the best team in the league. They have the best talent. They have the most experience for the most part, not together, but overall, playing experience with what Doug and Bradshaw and Davis. I mean, these are all high major players. To me, that should set them up well. But again, what does that number look like in league play, and how much does that impact potential NCAA tournament seeding down the line? I don't know.
And Kevin, one of the great stories developing, it was a late add to the coaching staff, but what Roy Rogers, what he's doing with the bigs, I think you've seen development in Bradshaw, obvious development since opening night even.
Yeah, 100%. And look, the other thing I would say with that is it's an amazing thing what happens when you just have to keep believing in guys, partially because you have no options, right? Like Memphis, to their credit, has really pushed Bradshaw, but they've also given him the opportunities to go prove it again and again and not giving up on him just because he struggled. And I think that's critical. I think Simon Majak is another guy that, again, you're force-feeding him minutes early. Yes, it's not always going to be the result you want, but he started to turn the corner here. And, that level of patience, I think it's paid off. And you combine that with the fact that these guys are getting really put in the fire against good teams and not getting to beat up people who have nowhere near their talent and not learn anything about themselves. They're learning hard lessons early, and I think that paid off, when you look at the result against Baylor and really how they played the last couple games.
Yeah, speaking of teams that are kind of struggling right now, you look at the defending national champions in Florida right now, and they have 4 losses onto the season. 4 of those losses, though, have been very competitive. How good is this Florida team?
I think they're good. I think they're not great. Again, as you said, 3 of those 4 losses are to top 5 AP poll teams by a combined 11 points, all on the road or basically on the road, right? Arizona and Vegas.
Yeah.
UConn at the Garden. And they've been right there in all those games, right? With 5 minutes to go, had every opportunity to go win it. Their floor is so high because of the size and how they rebound. You don't punk UConn on the glass the way that Florida did. It just doesn't happen. They just got to get something from these guards. And I thought Xavier Lee was better against UConn, but they're still struggling as a finisher, struggling as a three-point shooter. Boogie Fland was brutal. Again, they need more from him. If they can even get league average SEC guard play, I think they might win the whole conference. But right now it's just been so touch and go. And again, I think they're another example of a team that's probably benefited from this long term, even if it hurts right now to lose those games. That they're learning, their guards are learning tough lessons, and they're learning how to play without maybe the great guard play that they thought they had in the preseason because they played this crazy schedule. Now it'll settle down for them a bit, and they can kind of regroup.
I'm watching the Gators last night late in that game and had a couple miscues from Lee and a turnover from Boogie, and I'm thinking that this might be what Dusty May is thinking. Xavier Lee, you're not Walter Clayton, and Boogie Fland, I'm getting the full Boogie experience Cal got.
No question, right? And look, I think it was always going to be incredibly hard for Florida to replace Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, Will Richard, but the pressure you're putting on 2 guys who've really only ever been scorers, right? Like Xavier Lee has always been the most talented guy on the floor and has always been able to go get his own shot whenever he wants. And that was Boogie in the non-conference at Arkansas, and that was Boogie in high school. And I think the adjustment to playing high-level winning college basketball is so different. It's something that Florida had last year with Clayton having played a year in the SEC and 2 years for Rick Pitino, and Elijah Martin playing for Dusty and going to a Final Four. They had dudes who had won, who understood what it took beyond just, I'm going to go get a shot whenever I want to. And, quite frankly, those guys in Lee and Fland haven't been good enough shooting the basketball to justify some of the mistakes they're making when they're not firing away from deep.
And Kevin, frankly, I was at the game late January last year at Bud Walton Arena when late in the game against Oklahoma on a Saturday night, Boogie Fland dribbled it off his knee and had to make a bucket time. They lose. Arkansas got better after he got hurt.
No question. Yeah, and I think those red flags were there when Florida recruited him. I think you bought into the talent, And I give, Boogie was rough yesterday. I think he has started to play better. I thought he was good against Duke until that late game turnover. I thought he played really, really well in that Florida State win they had early in the year. Played well against Providence, but obviously, he is a victim of the expectations attached to him as a 5-star, as a McDonald's All-American, as the guy who went to go be Cal's first, big-time freshman at Arkansas, and now the $3 million man to save Florida. That's a really hard thing to be when you have the limitations that he has.
How good is AJ DeBonza?
Man,
last night, real good.
Yeah, amazing last night.
Yeah. So what I would say is this: I've talked to NBA scouts over the years about him, and what they all say, and I would agree with this from going to see him, is like the best version of AJ. He's so overwhelming as a prospect that it's in the conversation as the best guy anyone's seen. Not quite to Wemby levels, but
getting close.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's right there, and so you don't see it enough, and that's what's frustrating. Is you start to nitpick too much with him because you know what's there when he's at his best, and it finally all came together in that second half, and just an absolutely phenomenal showing. Made his case certainly a strong one for the number one pick.
His name will be one of the first 3 called at the NBA draft.
Yeah, almost assuredly him, Darren Peterson, and Cam Boozer, and I don't think you can go wrong. Boozer, obviously, maybe the lowest ceiling, but the highest floor. And Peterson and AJ, I think, have all NBA perennial type of ceiling.
Kevin, we got one of those undefeateds in action as we speak. Miami of Ohio tied with UNC Asheville. If they lose, we know it goes to 7.
Yeah, they've played a very light schedule, but that's a team that won 25 games. And give them credit, they brought back, I believe, 4 starters. They brought they're top 10 in the country in minutes continuity in terms of guys coming back from last year. Hard to do in this climate, so credit to them.
Kevin, last year, just week in, week out, Landon, Bryant, and I, we would all be talking about the SEC of congratulations, but you're really, you're threading the needle perfectly. They did in non-conference, get into even February, late February, to Nashville at the tournament. All the right teams would win, and all the teams that could take a loss would lose, and it conspired to 14. We knew that wasn't real, but is it real that they're this bad this year?
I don't know if they're this bad. I think it lacks the top tier teams, right? Like Vandy's really good, but they're not on the Florida or Auburn level from last year. Same thing with Bama. Florida's obviously taking a step back. Kentucky's not what they need to be yet. And I think some of the teams with these completely turned over rosters have felt the growing pains. I think Ole Miss feels that with Chris Beard. I think Texas feels that with a new coach in Sean Miller. Oklahoma has guys that are super talented, but maybe just don't have the level of toughness that Porter Mosher usually likes. So even A&M, which I think has had some bright moments under Bucky McMillan, is very much a work in progress. I think a lot of these teams last year really feasted because they were older and were able to run it up in the non-conference. And instead this year, I think these teams are probably not that far off talent-wise, but taking some lumps because of a lack of experience.
Yeah, speaking of Alabama, they have a huge matchup coming up against the new number 1 in Arizona. Do you think Arizona holds on to that number 1 spot? And if so, how long do they hold on to it?
I mean, Michigan is making it hard for them because no matter what you do, it feels like the Wolverines are running up behind you. But I do think Arizona should win that game just because Alabama has struggled so much with teams that can dominate the glass and play with physicality up front, and that's Arizona's MO. But it'll be a great test for them to essentially go on the road. I think that game's in Birmingham. And when Alabama has just hung in on the glass against these good teams, they've won those high-level games. It's just been against Gonzaga and then against Purdue, they got hammered, and it's just hard to hang in when you don't at least battle on the glass.
As Jerry Lewis used to say to Ed McMahon on fundraising day, tote board, please. How many games in person and your schedule for the rest of this week?
I haven't updated my sheet, so I'm not 100% sure on my count. I would guess I'm around 20 so far.
Strong.
Plans for the weekend are Nebraska versus Illinois. Nebraska, one of those undefeated teams. Yeah. But a big snowstorm headed to Chicago, so we'll see if I actually make it out of town.
Yeah, you basketball, y'all get every day of winter, And then it's springtime, conference tournament time, NC tournament time, the changing weather, and the rocky flights and thunderstorms.
Yeah, I have been very fortunate. I've never had like a complete disaster flight situation when I was trying to get to a game. Obviously, personally, I've experienced the plights of air travel, but we've been lucky so far. Knock on wood that it continues.
I had one from Oklahoma City to Dallas. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound like a lot could go wrong, does it?
Somehow it always does.
But when we landed, I wanted to kiss the ground. It would have been less perilous walking from Oklahoma City to Dallas. It was when I landed, I almost rented a car and drove back to Memphis from Dallas. I was scared to death. I never wanted to get on another one again, but you do, and you feel like it won't ever happen to you again. Kevin, thank you for your time so much. Be safe out there.
Thanks, fellas. Talk soon.
You got Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated and CBB Central. So week from tonight, Vanderbilt. But up first, U of L, Saturday in Louisville. I wish it was at Freedom Hall. Freedom Hall, Mid-South Coliseum, Tigers and Cardinals. That had a ring to it. What does it mean to you, Landon?
Well, for me, I know that the Memphis and Louisville rivalry has been huge. In recent memory, however...
Huge and real.
In recent memory, for me, however, it has not been that... It's not been that big.
I'm afraid a lot of people under 40 even,
yeah,
for sure under 30, feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Us old folks, you say the Coliseum in Louisville, and that gets us all going.
Yeah, Coliseum's not even my time.
No.
It's my father's time.
Yeah, and it was all that. I tell Brian all the time, when you hear people, sometimes the fish story can get really big.
Oh, it gets bigger every time.
Anything mentioned about the Coliseum, very real.
Mm-hmm.
It's no exaggeration to it.
Yeah.
And especially against Louisville. And this year, when I was on my long trip to get from Oxford to St. Louis to Lexington for Ole Miss football, was the first time I'd ever been, even drove through Louisville.
Wow.
I never went to a game there. Everybody talks about how great it was in those days and would watch those games. And at that time at Freedom Hall, it was part of the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center. Okay. Yeah. Expo, not exhibition, but exposition.
Mm-hmm.
And at mid-court, it had KFEC on the mid-court logo. And I never could figure I'm trying to associate it with KFC,
right?
With Kentucky Fried Chicken,
as one would do, yeah.
And I'm going, where's the E coming from? What's it? I was 10 years old and didn't know. But those games and those matchups, that rivalry, it was Saturday will tap into 10, 11, 12-year-old Brett unlike any game.
Yeah,
for the Tigers.
I really wish it could be the same for me.
And that's when I fell in love with Tiger basketball.
Yeah,
1972 when I was 10 years old. But for a lot of people, it doesn't do that. It does it for everybody at Jason's Deli and all these great locations at this time of year, any time of year. With the locations, I promise one near you, like over across from MUS at Park Place on Ridgeway by the University of Memphis, at Poplar and Highland, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova. It's still time for you to call and have them cater your event and take care of it, whatever meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, bringing more to the table. It's a family thing. And that last-minute event that you may feel very frenzied, frazzled, I don't have it done correctly, that's when they really excel. Step aside, let them step in and get your event just like you want it and like you're going to expect it to be. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli, whether you're dining in or getting it to go or having it delivered or having it catered. Off the menu, the Mesa chicken salad, the chicken club salad, the nutty mixed-up salad. My favorite, the taco salad. What's your salad at Jason's Deli you go to?
I'm not a big salad guy. I do the spud.
You do get the spud.
I get the baked potato.
And I've always said it's the most improperly named thing there. It's called the Plain Jane. For catering, it's called the Plain Jane Potato Bar. It's anything but plain.
I was about to say, it's anything but plain.
It should be called the Extravagant Potato Bar. I'll tell Keith.
Petition to change it.
And the crew there. Healthy. First franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. They were on the healthy kick long before it got cool. They knew it was the right thing to do. Plenty of organic food to choose from. That salad bar in every location with over 30 items for you to prepare it however you'd like. Complimentary free ice cream in every location. I'll give you a real veteran move. Go ask for a water cup. And don't overdo it, but go ask for a water cup. Get some ice cream, especially when it's summertime and hot. Get some ice cream. Go over and get some Coca-Cola. Make your Coke float.
Or they have the old-fashioned root beer float.
They do have
I'm
the
more of a root
float.
beer guy.
That is a great idea, Landon. Check out all the locations. Over across from MUS, by the University of Memphis, out in Cordova, down in Olive Branch, and always at jasonsdeli.com. We've been promising this all week, and we still hadn't gotten to it. We will get to every team's path to win it all out of 12 college football playoff teams. We do that next. You're listening to Sports Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the Alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
My Patriot Supply, America's most trusted survival food company, wishes you and yours a very Merry Christmas. As our gift to you, we've got an amazing deal on survival food kits. Buy one, gift two. That's right, for a limited time, when you grab our best-selling 4-week emergency food kit, we'll include 2 1-week kits free to hand out as gifts. That's 4 weeks of emergency food for you, and 2 ready-to-give gifts for anyone on your list who's into preparedness, or anyone who needs a nudge in that direction. But they're only available for a limited time. Grab yours at mypatriotsupply.com and give the gift of food security this Christmas. With 2,000 calories per day, 16 delicious meal and snack varieties, and up to 25-year shelf life, it's no wonder our 4-week food kit is the best-selling emergency food supply of all time. But the buy one, gift two Christmas special won't last long. So claim yours now at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Sports 56 traffic.
Afternoon, looking at this right over here. They finally moved it over to the side, 240 westbound, right at Airways and Lamar. Again, eastbound is pretty heavy as well this time of the afternoon. Cranking it pretty good on 40 east as you continue out towards Fayette County. We've had some delays out through there earlier from a crash on 40 eastbound, just trying to get past Abilene and Germantown Parkway. Hey, give the gift of clean this holiday season. Save 40% off right now. Zips Car Wash gift cards and watch books. Check them out. ZipsCarWash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
The path. Every team. We need a one shiny moment term for college football, don't we? What can it be? We gotta work on that.
Yeah, that's something to brainstorm there.
It really is. Because we don't say cutting the nets down.
No.
And it's not the crystal ball anymore. It's that thing that looks like a real fancy enlarged kind of ink pen holder.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
So what is the road in college football we're trying to get to? Being national champion.
Tearing down the goalposts?
Nah, you don't do that at bowl sites. Old video I've seen of people tearing down goalposts like at the Rose Bowl in the 30s, but they won't let you do that.
Yeah.
You know, and then confetti falls. It's very choreographed and staged, not very organic how they do the celebration. But the path for JMU, James Madison University, I would suggest James Madison get with other founders. Get with Thomas Jefferson. Get with George Washington. Get with James Monroe. You need to get with a lot of them. Yeah. And pray a lot and hope for a lot of turnovers. Because I frankly, even though this is the path, I don't see one.
Yeah, I don't either. It's hard. It especially
turnover Oregon 6 times.
Even then,
5 directly to scores.
6 pick sixes could go a long way.
Hold on for dear life.
I guess. I mean, the only real chance is if Alonzo Barnett just absolutely goes crazy and rushes all over the place, but I just don't think he's going to be able to do it.
I don't really see one for them. And then for Texas Tech, or for Oregon, I think the path for Oregon is there. I think they can win it. Do you?
Oh, I believe so. I feel like
But I think it's the least best Oregon team in this Oregon vintage.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement, but I feel like this year in the entire scheme of everything going on here, I feel like this is the year that we get a first-time national champ.
Well, we have a chance for first-timers, and we have a real chance for first time in the 21st century.
Yeah, in a long time.
And that would include Oregon. And I'm going to say this, if and when they get knocked out, Phil Knight's not getting any younger.
No.
He's not buying green bananas. Hadn't been for a long time. 88, 89, Phil Knight, Nike. How much has he spent to not have one in football or basketball?
Too much.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody talks about the sustainability of it for Indiana, for Ole Miss, for portal-heavy teams. After Phil, do we know somebody's going to spend like that?
I don't think so.
Again, at Oregon. But Oregon, they do have a path. I think it would include having to defeat Texas Tech and the winner of Alabama, Oklahoma, or Indiana. Does Alabama have a path?
I think Alabama always has a path, but it's a very difficult one.
How long did that last? How long kind of Bama privilege last? Didn't they use up a big slice of it just getting in?
I was about to say, they definitely used it for this year.
And Nick Saban, no longer the coach, and I don't subscribe to they got anything through the years for Nick Saban from privilege. They earned it.
Yeah, I agree.
If
100%.
they didn't, who has?
Right. Yeah.
But for Alabama, Oklahoma, can either of those beat Indiana?
Well, so far nobody has, and I think that's
Indiana went out and put one on Oregon.
I mean, Indiana. I know we've said it before. It's both. They were good last year. They're a different animal this year.
Yeah, I think differently of them this year than I did last year. Last year, I thought okay, warm, fuzzy,
Yeah,
fun,
kind
great.
of scratch there, kind of got there by happenstance. But this year,
And remember
they paved
how
it.
we all piled on when they were down big early to Indiana. Told you so, knew it. I'm as guilty as anyone.
Mhm.
They ended up making that a 10-point game.
Yeah,
They
did.
That last year, this year started in that comeback at South Bend last year.
Mm-hmm.
So for Alabama, or who has the better shot of beating Indiana? OU or Bama?
I'm going to go with Alabama. I think Alabama is definitely they've got to have a little bit of a revenge narrative.
It's just Pavlov's dog, isn't it? We just reflexively go Bama, don't we?
Well, I think so, but also you had the full, complete revenge story with Georgia and Alabama in the SEC championship game. Your hope is that leaves a bad taste in Alabama's mouth. They take it out on Oklahoma, get to Indiana, and I think of the two teams, I think Alabama's more complete. I think they're a more well-rounded team.
I do not want to talk down to or dismissively of Tulane, but that was the best Ole Miss played, I thought, all 4 quarters, all year, in winning 45-10. I do think it'll be closer. I think Ole Miss will win. I don't think Tulane really has a legitimate path, but if they did pull the upset over Ole Miss, you know where they go then?
They go and play Georgia.
And where?
And
in New Orleans.
Yeah, in New Orleans.
And the Tulane people, that would be crowning moment day. They've been to Sugar Bowls way back, but to go to one at the Superdome, all the Sugar Bowls they went to was at Tulane Stadium, but I don't think it's remote. What's Ole Miss path? You tell me.
I think Ole Miss definitely makes it past first round, but I just don't think they get over the Georgia hump.
What if they actually played 4 quarters instead of just 3 this time against Georgia, not between the hedges?
If they put together a game like they did against Tulane and absolutely shut them up, I think Ole Miss, if they put together that complete game, they can make it past Georgia.
I think the key would be stopping Gunnar Stockton. He really put it to Ole Miss that day in that strong fourth quarter. If Ole Miss pull that upset over Georgia, can they beat Ohio State or A&M or Miami coming out of that bottom bracket?
I think they could beat Miami. I think it would be really tight against Texas A&M, but I think your biggest hump would have to be getting over Ohio State.
And that Ohio State defense, Georgia, we see the path for Georgia. It's pretty clear.
It's pretty evident, yeah.
I think the winner's coming from Georgia, Indiana, or Ohio State.
I would say that's a safe bet.
That would be a tier, kind of a JMU, Tulane, no shot tier. Miami, it's got a lot has to go right. Miami and A&M, who comes out of there?
I'm going with A&M in that game. Depending on how
we would do our Friday football forecast, brought to you by First National Bank and Trust. But if we did do we need to do a bracket?
I'm not against it. I love doing brackets.
That's another banner. Who's on the hook to buy all these banners?
Well, hey, I got one more Rookie of the Year left in me.
I've got senior in me.
You got it locked.
Right.
You got it locked
that
down.
Squeezes Brian out though. He has no special designated
He
class.
just has to win. Then it puts the pressure on him. Yeah.
We force him in to he must win or no banner.
Yeah, he has to compete.
He doesn't get the class. Now, how long does your Rookie of the Year status last? Perpetuity?
I don't know. It'll just keep going, I think.
Well, we know my senior status, how it ends.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty.
I don't know.
we don't want that anytime soon, do we?
I would say we get past this football season.
But you know what? Once my senior status ends, let's hope it's not on the air. You know, senior status, then Bryant gets to claim.
Bryant gets
then
the
he
senior
gets
status.
a special designation,
and then I'm forced to compete
of veteran status. No, I don't think Miami can beat Texas A&M at the biggest game ever at Kyle Field, a place that they have not performed well in this spotlight in.
Yeah, but depending on how healthy Marcel Reed is, depending on how good this defense shows up, Texas A&M can make a real run.
Yeah. They got to get that run game.
They do. Get it established quick.
But I think A&M will beat Miami, and then for A&M, like Tulane, if they got to the Sugar Bowl, A&M in a they wouldn't be in the Cotton Bowl. They'd be in the Fiesta Bowl. No, is that Cotton Bowl against Ohio State? No, Texas Tech's in that, aren't they? No, that's not right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I have that right or not. No, that's the next round for Fiesta. That is Cotton Bowl. Ohio State would be waiting in the Cotton Bowl, wouldn't they?
I believe they would.
I think so.
I'm trying to see here.
I don't know if I can do a bracket if I don't really have it right in my head, can I?
Let's see. That would be, yes, Ohio State's Cotton Bowl.
It is. That's correct. New Year's Eve, Cotton Bowl, A&M in Dallas-Fort Worth. That would be advantage for them.
It would.
And how good they've been in that building through the years against Arkansas.
So do you think A&M is a better team than Indiana?
No.
How close do you think that comparison is?
Not real close.
Not real? So then by that, I don't think Texas A&M really has a shot against Ohio State.
Because we saw how close they were.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
It was.
Again, those two games last Saturday night, I mean, Duke and UVA was great.
It was.
I was kind of pulling. I was totally pulling for UVA. Good friends of mine. The wife went to UVA. The husband did not, but their oldest child did, and they were really excited about maybe coming to Oxford for the 6-11 game, and I wanted
Would've
that
been exciting
with them and for them, and then Duke and that game. How it played out.
I think that was the perfect fitting to the ACC. Nobody wanted to win it.
Did you have two screens going, or the back button? Were you watching both at the same time?
Oh, I had all eyes on the Duke-Virginia game, and then when Indiana-Ohio State came on, I was all on them.
Yeah, and that was a good game and how it ended. So Ohio State, we know their path. It's clear.
I think it is.
And real clear to Ohio State, Georgia, winner getting Indiana or Oregon.
Oregon, I mean, I don't want to discount Texas Tech.
I don't either, especially that defense. I don't think Texas Tech, I think the image is kind of air raid, kind of steal the Mike Leach train of thought. And Joey McGuire's had really good quarterback play, but I think it's a defensive team first.
I think it is too, and they definitely showed that against BYU.
And I think you have to be a defensive team first to really win it all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody chants it at games. Defense wins championships.
So it's not one shining moment. It's just one special moment. Can we? Is it a fancy song to that?
Well, there is the One Shining Moment song.
Oh, it's good. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you stay up for it in the highlight reel every year?
I think I'm just too busy. It's either celebrating or going to sleep.
Yeah,
one of the two.
And we did get an earlier one last year, and we'll get an earlier final game this year. And needed. We've needed that. So we'll go over the bracket next week. I guess we will do a full bracket.
I think we should.
Well, that could look bad.
It could.
Could almost look like me having Penn State and Clemson in the preseason.
Well, we don't like to talk about that.
No, we don't. Nothing says holiday fun like driving home in a new All-Star Chevy. How about a new Traverse or Tahoe? Don't miss the Red Tag event right now in Olive Branch with big customer cash back. Our financing is low as zero. That's right, zero with your new 26 Silverado or Equinox. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it from the great guys down at All-Star. Ask them about the extra $2,000 you can get on a new Colorado. If you're driving one of those other mid-sized trucks, you'll want that extra cash back. First responders and military, instant extra $500 bonus this Christmas and into the new year. Together, let's drive what we really want to drive, and that's something from All-Star. Check out all the All-Star Chevy, huge selection of barely driven, certified, and the hottest pre-owns you'll find anywhere in the area. If you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star in Olive Branch, and you'll get the most cash back for it first thing tomorrow morning, whether you bought it there or not. Drew DePriest and his team, everyone at All-Star, they wish you and yours a very, very Merry Christmas and a safe holiday travel and a Happy New Year. For more information, you can always go to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we wrap up the day with Moe's Crunch Time. That's next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
A new exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card is your opportunity to go from card holder to ticket holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026. For a limited time, when you're approved for a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card, you're eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at BofA.com/card FWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Fanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
What I learned today, out at Michigan, Sharon Moore, Ward Manuel had to fire him. He probably got presented with overwhelming evidence. You know, they probably have been building a case.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And here are the odds out from betonline.ag. Number 1, Kalen DeBoer.
Wow.
Number 4, I mentioned him, Jed Fish.
Yeah.
What if Alabama lost, maybe ugly, to OU? It gets loud. There have been reports that he's not that happy, that his wife has said she doesn't feel safe going out in Tuscaloosa. I think that's a load of you-know-what.
Yeah,
she wouldn't be harmed at all by anybody down there. Yeah, they want to win, but they're not going that far.
No.
I mean, they might throw a brick through Bill Curry's window, but they're not harming the coach's wife. Then that would leave Bama having to find somebody if all that happened.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
There's always a next move in all this coaching stuff.
Yeah, there always is. Well, what I learned today was Nick Sirianni, after the Eagles' loss on Monday, was asked if he had considered benching Jalen Hurts ahead of their matchup against the Raiders. He went on to say, no, that is ridiculous, and he went on to say, I know that every time I go out on that field with Jalen Hurts as our quarterbacks, we have a chance to win that game. And when it comes to this is kind of a little bit seeping into what I could do without. You looked at Patrick Mahomes' game this past Sunday, 3 interceptions, no TDs. They lose bad against the Texans team, who have been on a little bit of a hot streak. They're 6-7. This Eagles team is now 8-5, still in a good position to go back and at least make a playoffs run. But nobody's questioning, should Patrick Mahomes be benched? Now, history has proven Patrick Mahomes, better quarterback overall than Jalen Hurts.
Ever.
Maybe
in the argument.
Definitely in the argument. Definitely our modern day GOAT right now. But when it comes to those kind of things, the big question has been
sports talking.
Yeah,
wanting to get him to bench.
The big thing is the Chiefs dynasty over, but we never want to single and point out a specific person on that team. But when it comes to this, Jalen Hurts, arguably one of the worst games he's ever played, with 4 interceptions in that one.
He's catching it. But he's still the Super Bowl MVP.
But still, yeah, former Super Bowl MVP, still a good quarterback. I don't think one game is going to define his entire career.
I could have done without CP3, Chris Paul, at 40. He says he's at peace with the Clippers letting him go, while 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, he game plans potentially for Colts at Seattle. Chris Paul isn't at peace. He will be back with somebody chasing a ring come playoff time next spring. They can't stop. They can't live without it. Phillip Rivers, he made his NFL debut November 7th, 2004. Chris Paul made his NBA debut November 1st, 2005. Two old guys kind of linked together, aren't they?
They sure are. I mean, Phillip Rivers now the oldest guy in the league because he has signed with the practice squad. That's absolutely insane. Well, a little bit of sad news on my part was something I could have done without. Hawaii star receiver Jackson Harris, who already entered the transfer portal from Stanford to come to Hawaii, has decided that he's going to re-enter the transfer portal following this season, so he will be leaving Hawaii. He had 963 yards receiving, 12 TDs in just 10 games played. He was one of the best wide receivers that I've seen take the field. Mike Alejado's #1 target. The good news is that he's going to play in that Hawaii Bowl game, so at least we still have one more hoorah with him, but him going in the transfer portal is one of the things that I just do not like about college football, and that's how anybody at any moment can just say, I don't want to be here anymore, and leave.
Where are you beaming to tonight?
Me tonight to which game? The Lakers game. They're on their way to becoming
NBA
the
Cup.
first ever 2-time NBA Cup
What a
champions. Nobody in NBA history could ever say that. So that's definitely going to be an interesting game. They're looking like they're in full strength, so it should be an interesting
game. Get the jokes ready. That will be 2 for LeBron. That's one more than NBA championships he will have won.
Yeah.
And that was in the bubble.
Well, I mean, NBA Cup just means more, right?
Cue the jokes for me. I'll be the one.
We'll have a laugh track.
But they're
for
not
you
winning
tomorrow.
it because it'd be me too. NBA Cup West style, 14-10 Phoenix. At 23-1 Oklahoma City. They're on 70 watts. Right now they're on pace to win about 78. They're not going to do that, but they're going to win a lot of games. When do they lose again?
I don't know. It's no time soon.
It doesn't feel like any time soon, does it? I know what it does feel like. It feels like good night for us. I want to thank Coach Tommy West, David Cohn, Rex Hoggard, and Kevin Sweeney. For Landon, I'm Brett. Tomorrow, Bryant will be back with us. Everybody have a safe, happy Wednesday night.